Hey, Vanessa, you should stay up here to tell everyone as they arrive. All right, good afternoon, everyone. If you can just please get settled in, we're about to begin. Mauricio?
Okay.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is 1:31, calling the meeting to order.
Commissioner Joseph,
Present.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Here.
Commissioner Lama,
Here.
Vice Mayor Vizcarra,
Here.
Mayor Svetchin,
Here.
all members present, ma'am.
All right, I just wanted to make a few announcements before we begin. The first is the acoustics in this room are phenomenal, which means that we hear your conversations. So if you're going to have a conversation, please take it outside. We literally hear everything, sometimes to the very detail. So it's very distracting, but also I don't think you want us to hear your conversations. And we now have public speaking. If you can explain it, Mauricio, and then we'll give people time to sign up if they wanted to.
Yes, so we have public speakers or public comments allowed during workshops where normally it wasn't allowed. However, it is a little bit different than what we normally allow during the 6:30 meeting. The public comments are only limited to the items that are listed on the agenda. You still have 3 minutes to make your comments. However, please do keep to the 3 minutes. And there are public speaker cards that you need to fill out if you wish to speak on anything listed on the agenda in the back. And maybe give them a minute to see if there's anybody else that wishes to speak or submit one.
All right, so the agenda's in the back. If anyone wanted to speak, here's your opportunity to sign up. Okay. All right, Mauricio, go ahead. I know there was a change and then.
Yes, so there's one item that we will be adding on in the special presentations. It'll be heard before 3:08. It'll be the first one, and it'll be by the city manager.
All right, and we have a very full agenda, a lot of items. So I just want to remind my colleagues that we want to try to get through it, and we have a rule that we end at 4:30. So given the amount of items we have, do I have consensus from the very beginning that we'll go to 5:30? Does anyone have any objection to it?
No.
No? All right. Okay, perfect. So I'll remind you that each item is 30 minutes. Go ahead, Mr.
Okay, so the first item is the presentation by the city managers.
I'd like to invite up Derek Arias, our CIO.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Commission. I have the privilege of sharing something with the community today that most of the people in this room don't know about yet. Before I get into it, I want to recognize a few people: City Manager Stan Morris and Deputy City Manager Susan Simpson. Thank you both for the support you've given this team and for backing the kind of innovation that doesn't always make headlines, but makes a real difference for our residents. I also want to recognize our Chief of Police, Chief Santiago, who couldn't be with us today, but whose support for this program from day one made this possible. Earlier this year, a team from across 3 of our departments came together to solve a real operational challenge: how to get our drone as first responder program dispatched to an active incident faster and more reliably directly out of our police dispatch system. What they built is a custom integration that lets a drone be launched to any active CAD incident with far less manual work, putting eyes in the sky faster when seconds matter. This is exactly the kind of work I love bragging about because it isn't one department's win. It took our police department, our innovation and technology department, and our media department working side by side to pull it off, which is honestly how the best things happen at the city and how they get built. So first, I would like to invite that team to join me up front. These are people that usually don't like to be up front, but from our innovation and technology department, my assistant CIO, Humberto Martinez, who led the technical integration work. From our police department, Assistant Chief Luke Pliza and Sergeant Jonathan Konitz, who runs our Drone as First Responder program. So they run our Drona's first responder program day to day and made sure that this integration actually worked the way our officers and dispatchers needed it to in the field. And from our media department, Leah Einwalter, our media manager, and Michael Rojas, our communications and media specialist. So on top of everything else, they recognized this work deserved recognition and put together the story that got us here tonight. So I'm going to let a special guest today explain exactly why that matters. But first, let me introduce him. So I'm glad to welcome Ron McKenzie. Ron is the Chief Information Officer for the City of Fort Lauderdale, and he serves as FLGISA's Southeast District Director. Ron? Thank you for being here. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners.
Afternoon.
I'm actually the second Vice President. I got elevated from the District Director for FLGISA, but to let you know a little bit about FLGISA. One moment. The Florida Local Government Information Systems Association is the premier technology organization for Florida local governments, your source for leadership, innovation, collaboration, and technology. We're an organization of CIOs, IT managers, and technology decision makers from state and local government agencies. There are 367 members of agencies that are in our organization. This particular project and program that Derek's talking about wind up being submitted for an award. The award, obviously, 367 organizations all around the state. And out of them, we have what we call our Technology and Excellence Awards. Excellence goes to the first place. Achievements go to the other ones. You guys were 1 and 1. And you received the award for excellence for this particular innovation and program that they've got. The award goes from, it's the 2026 FLGISA Technology Excellence Award to the City of Sunny Isles Beach for innovative use of technology to serve the public. This is 1 of 1 in the state. Congratulations to all of you. You've done outstanding. Here you are.
Can we get a picture before you all walk away?
We will, but
Okay,
let me
just don't run away.
Let me wrap up real quick. So, before we wrap up, I want to do one more thing. I want to follow in a police department tradition, and I'm going to give a challenge coin to each member of this team. These are 50th anniversary FLGISA challenge coins. A challenge coin isn't given for finishing a job; it's a challenge. Every time you look at it, it's a reminder that we expect you to keep raising the bar, to keep pushing your department and this city toward the next problem worth solving. You've already shown you know how to do that, so consider this your challenge to keep doing it. So Humberto Martinez, you led the technical side of this from the start and figured out how to solve this problem. Keep pushing the innovation and technology department to find the next challenge. To Assistant Chief Pliza, you made room for your people to try something new and backed it. That's leadership. Keep challenging your department to find the next one. Sergeant Konitz, you're the one who has to make this work in real time on real calls. Thank you for pushing this program forward on the ground. Keep raising the bar for what DFR can do. Leah, you made sure this team's work didn't go unnoticed inside this building and out. Keep telling these stories. They're part of why the city takes innovation seriously. And Michael, you helped make sure this story reached people and reached them well. Keep raising the bar for how we tell it. So congratulations again to the whole team, Humberto, Assistant Chief Pliza, Sergeant Konitz, Leah, Michael. This is the kind of collaboration across our departments I want the city known for. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you. So Leah, should we stay up here or go down? Because there's, for the picture.
Many people.
Pablo, stay up? Okay. So you guys get, yes, all right. All right, I think we need to go. Are we centered?
Much, yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Very nice. Okay, Mauricio?
Okay. The next item on the agenda is 3A, a proclamation presented for National Senior Citizens Day. And as Jonathan walks up, I'll read the proclamation. It reads, whereas on August 19th, 1988, President Ronald Reagan signed proclamation number 5847 declaring August 21st, 1988 as National Senior Citizens Day. And whereas President Reagan proclaimed this day as such with the sentiment for all they have achieved throughout life and for all they continue to accomplish, we owe older citizens our thanks and a heartfelt salute. And whereas the number of American ages 65 and older is projected to increase from 58 million in 2022 to 82 million by 2050, a 47% increase, and the group's share of the total population is projected to rise from 17% to 23%. Whereas senior citizens have made invaluable contributions to our families, communities, workplaces, and nation throughout their experience, wisdom, service, and dedication. And whereas older adults continue to enrich the city of Sunny Isles Beach by sharing their knowledge, traditions, talents, and perspectives with younger generations, and by remaining actively engaged in civic and community life. And whereas National Senior Citizens Day provides an opportunity to recognize the accomplishments of our senior population and to express appreciation for the important role they play in strengthening our community. And whereas the city is committed to promoting the dignity, independence, health, safety, and well-being of our older adults and supporting opportunities that allow seniors to remain active and connected. And whereas on August 21st, 2026, residents are encouraged to honor their senior citizens in their lives and recognize the lasting impact they have made and continue to make in our community.
Great. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, and City staff. I am beyond proud to stand before you today alongside a few of the incredible individuals who embody the heart and spirit of what we are here to celebrate, Senior Citizens Day. First established in 1988, Senior Citizens Day provides an opportunity to honor and celebrate the contributions, accomplishments, wisdom, and continued impact that our older adults have on communities. It is a day to recognize that seniors are not only simply a part of our community, they are an essential part of what makes Sunny Isles Beach truly what it is. Today, we are proud to celebrate the hundreds of seniors we serve each year through Gateway Center. Through a curated calendar featuring more than 100 fitness classes each month, health and wellness workshops, educational opportunities, and countless social activities, Gateway Center is about so much more than just programs and activities. It's about friendship, connection, staying active, but most importantly, creating memories. For many of our seniors, Gateway Center has become truly a home away from home, a place where they feel welcomed, seen, and most importantly, heard. And this is why today is so special. The seniors represented here today are just a small reflection of the incredible energy, strength, and spirit that exist throughout our programs. On behalf of myself, Rakila Stanley, your program coordinator, Kimberly Brown, your program specialist, and the entire Cultural and Community Services Department, we want to thank you and let you know how much you are appreciated. We thank you for being part of this community. We value your wisdom and presence, and we are honored to serve you. Members of the commission, at this time, I'd like to warmly invite you to take a photo with my family as we commemorate today's proclamation.
All right, so anyone over the age of?
So 55 and older.
Okay, so anyone over the age of 55 and older, please come up.
Don't be shy.
Please, it would be a nice picture. You guys know who
Yeah,
you
so
are.
anybody that would like to take a photo, come on up. Come on, come on.
And if you're part of the program, but you're not 55, you can also come up.
So I'm up here again. Okay. Whatever. Loose cannon. Loose cannon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. I think this only represents maybe 10%, if not less, of the seniors that participate.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe next year at bingo. Okay. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the agenda if you would like. Is it still there? Is the food still outside? Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. Our next item, Mauricio, 4A.
Next item is a discussion by Commissioner Stuyvesant regarding state and county lobbying priorities.
Okay. Commissioner?
Yes, I want to start with a question to the city manager. How do we usually set these priorities?
Usually for our lobbying, we have discussions back and forth with the commission and our lobbyist.
Okay, well, so let's talk about the process a little bit. Last year, we set our legislative priorities, and really what they were at the very beginning were the Florida League of Cities platform, which are defend home rule, condominium reform, protect our local business tax, etc. So we supported all those positions, but they are really defensive, and we share them with more than 400 other municipalities. So last year, we didn't ask for $1 single to Tallahassee, nothing. So I want to be ahead of the curve, and I'm bringing this item so we can update our process, and we have like real priorities for the city of Sunny Isles Beach. So I named 3, and I wish everybody else can name their ones as well. The first one is the Lehman Under Causeway Parking Track, to get funding for the feasibility study and the FDOT and Miami-Dade use agreements. Also, the Central Island drainage, to confirm the status of the $21 million that apparently we lost in grants for probably having no lobbies last year. And also for Pelican Community Park, because we are planning apparently to do a big new construction, so we can offset the payment of that. And I would like to make sure that what happened last year doesn't repeat itself. In September of last year, the city contract with our state lobbyist was terminated. The commission never voted on that. We were not asked, and we were not told in time to do anything about it. I learned from it from our state representative, and by the time that we did it, the appropriation window was closed. So again, we asked the state of Florida for $0 that session. In a year, our adopted capital plan ran to more than $61 million. We have seen rehire Ron Book, which is good, so now we have representation. I just want to make sure we don't get a hole in the process again, and that this doesn't happen again. And I do have a question for the city attorney. And he said, does the city manager have the authority to terminate a professional service contract that this commission approved by resolution without bringing that decision back to the commission for a vote?
It depends what's in the agreement. So if I'd have to go back to the previous agreement. Your current agreement now, just to preface that, it's a 1-year agreement, but then you, the city commission, can renew it for 4 additional 1-year terms. So any renewals come to you. Let me see if I have a copy of the old one. Since it was a little different, this one was actually procured. The previous one wasn't procured, it was just renewed every year. But typically, to answer generally, so if the resolution gives the authority to the city manager to do that, yes. And if it naturally expires and it's not brought forth again, then it would naturally expire. It'd be coterminous with whatever term you all had set forth. So I have to, if you give me a minute, I might be
No,
able
no
to-
problem. We can have it maybe for later on. So that's the point, just to make sure that we are going to be requesting from Tallahassee money for what is our priorities, especially for the big contracts that we assume we're going to be having during the following year, and to make sure that that contract with the lobbies, either the one that we have won or any other one that we're going to have, does not expire or gets terminated without informing us, and that we are going to we need to make sure that we have, like I said, representation, and we are asking for things specifically for the city of Sunny Isles Beach.
And one caveat, if the contract also, again, I haven't seen it, but if it was under 50 or under, that would fall to the city manager, but I don't recall what the amounts were for Brown Book
It
before.
was between 60 and 70, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Did you
Anybody
wanna
else
say
has
some-
any-
Are you done, Commissioner?
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to say something, Mr. City Manager?
Yes,
Okay.
if I recall, I believe the contract was expiring. We were not getting the kind of service that I think we expected from our prior lobbyist. So we put it out to bid, and through a number of different, I guess, processes, we were able to negotiate a better rate with Mr. Book now, who's been very responsive since that time.
No, thank you, and that's great, but still, the point is that we didn't ask for the first time any money to Tallahassee. And I find out when our state representative called me because he needed those projects to negotiate with other representatives. So when I found out, it was too late. The window was closed, and we were never made aware that we were not even making any appropriation requests. So that decision should be a decision of the commission and not a decision that the staff takes on its own, like it happened.
For the purposes of clarification, I know that we discussed this a lot before, but if we can just have very, very short summary of what normally happens when the representative or a senator calls asking for our priorities and why we didn't request anything this year. If I can ask the deputy manager.
We
This
had
past year, sorry.
we had already had $400,000 for the design of the Central Island Drainage Project, which was being redesigned, and we had $400,000 for the Marine Patrol. And I believe it's $400,000 for the seawall that were still all outstanding at that time.
So if we have outstanding amounts, does that mean we can't ask for more money?
So we got word from the state that they were looking for very specific projects, and that it was kind of don't ask unless if, you've used what we've given you.
What I understand in speaking to the lobbyists and the office there is you have to be willing to fund something at least 50%, and it has to be in the works.
It's always a match, yes.
It's a
And they're
match.
looking for shovel ready.
Can you just explain what that means, please?
yes, I'm
to the
sorry.
public, so that, yeah.
So shovel ready is you already have a design, well, unless if you're going for design money, which is the little money. Then once you have the design, you can go for a construction, which is the bigger money. So for example, the Central Island Drainage Project, we had the money for that when we had the previous design. We had construction plans. We had gone out to bid.
That
Once
was for the injection wells?
One,
Wait. Let
No.
the deputy manager finish. 1 second.
it was for the pump stations. Since we withdrew that project and went back to redesign, we couldn't apply for a construction, a grant for the construction without a new design.
Okay. You had a question, Commissioner Joseph?
So last year, when we had this $400,000 possible grant for the Center Island project, at that time, you had in consideration for the injection wells, correct?
Correct, but those plans were not ready.
Right, they weren't ready and they were failed plans to begin with.
Well, it's a plan and studies project, and the studies were still going at the time of application. So we were not confident that it was a viable
Right.
project.
Anyone else in the commission?
So regarding priorities, I think capital expenditures for sure, specifically the Central Island Drainage Project and the community center. And aside from that, I wanted to see if we could perhaps be ready in case the new property tax bills, the homestead bill, passes in November, because I don't know if the state's going to have any appropriations available for any activities and programs that right now are being funded by the city with taxpayer money. Because obviously with that new bill, we're going to be restricted to 7, let's say, primary categories like law enforcement and different things. Some of the senior programming and team programming that we are paying for is pretty much a question mark next year. So I wanted to see if perhaps, well, we'll see in November what happens, but I think we should be kind of like a step ahead and see if the state will be able to give us some funding to be able to spend on that, on activities and programs.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
One of the things that that I've tried to push forward is for us to be more engaged in the legislative process just as a commission. I think generally that was just not part of our culture. We just let the Florida League do it, or we would just let the lobbyist do it for us. And there really wasn't a lot of discussion, and little by little that was changing. So we do now have, in terms of the legislative piece, that's largely up to us and it's tricky because of the timing, and we only meet sometimes because we only meet once a month, and the session is only so long. Sometimes the timing is very odd. That's what happened this last round. We basically had one meeting, and by the second meeting, it was pretty much over because of the timing of it. Then
there's a submission deadline as well.
No, just in terms of the process, I think having better relationships with the legislative people in the Florida League. I don't have as much as that kind of communication with the County League of Cities, but I think that's something else that we could, nurture those relationships, or maybe they already exist. I just don't happen to have them, and I have been, as you know, trying to present I bring it to you, then we talk about it, but going forward, I would imagine, that's going to be up to the commission for you guys to be on top of it, and we have the web page where we can track it, et cetera. So from the legislative end, I think we have improved significantly our legislative game. There's still work to be done. And we don't have to be limited to the Florida League platform, but it's designed for municipalities. So it's they're already doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but you don't have to be limited to that.
Okay. Commissioner Stevenson, when does the session start? Do you have a timetable of when these priorities need to be decided?
They're going back after the elections. So, and that's apparently, they don't have the dates just yet.
Okay, because I think we need the calendar in order to make sure that we don't miss anything.
Absolutely.
And to Commissioner Lama's point, the election, that item is going to decide a lot of what the priorities may be. Mm-hmm. They may be very, very different. Okay, good.
And if we have any suggestions for bills, there is a definite date for submissions, so we need to be aware of those dates as well.
Okay.
May I add something too?
Sure.
Also, we need to start thinking about lobbying at a federal level. We might not have many projects, but we do have a beach. It needs, obviously, beach erosion mitigation, which falls under the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So I think that our next step would be at a federal level as well.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I actually have spoken with Susan Simpson's assistant, and we have something in the works regarding federal funding.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next item is yours, Commissioner Stevenson.
You need to read it?
Yes, the next item is discussion by Commissioner Stuyvesant regarding the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget questions.
Okay, so about this, we only have one workshop to discuss the actual budget. And the whole time we were just talking about the SIP because it was very large. all the projects in there. So we haven't had the time to actually discuss the budget after it was printed and give it to us. So I'm gonna request a special meeting, workshop, whatever you wanna call it, so we can go through the budget. Like I said, we had not gone through it just yet. However, right now, I just wanna have the time to request some more information about the debt. Because when we had that workshop, I was asking a few questions about it. And I thank the city attorney for being so candid when you told us that you haven't had the opportunity to see about the bonds, if we were going to be issuing bonds or not. But the proposed budget, unless anything has changed, is asking to issue debt this year, this fiscal year, for $175 million. And for the following fiscal year, another $150 million, meaning a total of $325 million plus service, interest, etc. So that is something that we had never discussed. And technically, the first time that we're going to be talking about it is to vote on it, which is on September 8th. So without even having had any discussion about it, I don't think it's appropriate for this body to be doing that. So I would like to know
We always get jammed.
yeah, I would like to know if anything has changed from the budget that was presented to us until right now, because I know you guys been working on it. And second, about the bond, if the city attorney now has some information, if we're going to be needing a referendum, if anything, just more information because we don't have any before.
Okay, Mr. Sure, please, Mr. City Manager, and if you can just elaborate on the process as well.
Yeah,
I know we
so-
talked about it before, but since we have people
Okay.
in the audience.
We started our budget discussions in February with a philosophical workshop with the commission, gave us a basic framework for how we were going to build our budget. And then subsequent to that, we've had some one-on-one meetings with each of you regarding your specific budget request. And then recently we had our budget workshop with you where you gave us some of your priorities, questions, concerns, and we also set the tentative millage rate. So based on all of those things, we put together a framework for the budget. We went back to some of your points and made some additional cuts, and our budget has no proposed bond that we're going to bring to you. And it also incorporates the millage rate that you all agreed to, which is the rollback rate.
Okay. Mr. City Attorney, if you can answer the other question, please.
Yeah, just generally on the bonding issue or the debt service, you always have the option to do private debt, but private debt is limited and the repayment periods are typically smaller, 5-10 years. Generally, cities will go with general obligation bonds, which are public debt, that do go to referendum. That buys you more time, probably 20, 25 years. That's usually the favorable as, especially for the amounts of money that would be potentially contemplated. Keeping in mind that it's always comparative to the amount of money you have, your reserves, your budget, so on and so forth. It's not like if you go out and want to borrow $6 billion, you may not be able to do that, right, on the general obligation bonds. So it has to be commensurate with sort of your financial picture. But typically your general obligation bonds is the best route because it gives you more time for payment, and it's usually on favorable terms, and but they do have to go to the voters.
Okay, and just for clarification, Mr. City Manager, you said the bond is out of the budget.
Correct.
Okay. Are there any discussion or comments from the commission?
Yeah, so basically from the proposed budget, I can deduct $175 million.
We are not proposing any bond, and then we also had a discussion about PCP where we had proposed doing some new construction, and instead we're going back and we're going to propose some renovations.
Okay.
Okay.
So those two larger numbers are not incorporated into this proposed budget.
Okay, so
Commissioner Stewart, I just want to let someone else
yeah.
speak if they want to regarding, no? There? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
heard I liked what I heard. No, I liked what I heard.
No, so basically, I have a discussion item here that has to do with the bond and the lion's share of where that bond is going to be dedicated to, which is the community center. So I'll discuss afterwards when we get to my item, or I could discuss it now since it's a related.
Let's wait to your item so that Commissioner Stewart finish what she was saying. Okay.
Well, it's connected to it, so I have no problem if he wants to jump his item in here because, like I said, my question continue being the same one. The proposed budget was 348 so I'm going to round it to $350 million. If we are not going to be issuing any bond, and we don't have that debt issue that we had before, page 813, but nobody else has their book here. So right now, if we deduct from 350, 175, that's what I say. We're slashing the proposed budget in half. And I'm very happy with that. So right now, our proposed budget is going to be in the realm of $175 million, right?
We'd have to look at all of the numbers to tell you exactly what it is, but I can tell you there is no bond proposed, and our proposed PCP project, we've drawn back on that. Also, a number of the capital improvement projects, when you see our budget, have been reduced.
Okay, so right now,
We've done away with one solar project.
I want a very simple answer. What is the amount of the budget right now as we sit, as you have it right now?
I'd have to ask Tiffany to come up and answer that question.
Thank you.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
I don't have an exact number, but it is minus the 175 million. When I was looking at it today, we still have some amounts to just adjust and review, but I don't want to give you an exact number, but it's substantially lower than our tentative that you're seeing there. So around, I would say, the 175 to 200 million is where we're looking at right now.
Okay. Thank you, Tiffany.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
To my point that we do need a workshop or a meeting or a special meeting, which I'm going to formally ask for it, to have this discussion. A budget that is not even ready, how can we be the next time that have in front of us to vote yes or no? We cannot vote yes or no even right now on something that we don't have and it's not being it hasn't been built yet. So I know that the process is very fluid and that's a good thing. So if the number one of our task as a commission is to approve the budget, we cannot just blindly go and sit down to approve a budget that we had not discussed. So to make it that day, the meeting, positive and that we don't have to go back and forth from that day set of September 8th, we need a workshop to talk about the final budget that you guys are going to be presenting to us. We are almost 3 weeks away from the first hearing, which is September 8th. So I would like to know when is it that we can meet to discuss the ready-to-be proposed budget.
May I?
Please, go ahead.
I think it's appropriate for me to jump in at this
Sure, go
point.
ahead.
And so basically that portion of the budget is composed, the general obligation bond, or let's backtrack. That amount is comprised of the Central Island Drainage Project, which is about, give or take, 30 million, plus the community center. When it comes to a community center, and that's why I put it there as part of my discussion items, is that I think we need to take a step back, take a look at some of the examples that staff had put in there, because what I see from there is that you see, for instance, Doral's community center and their park, because they have a lot of acreage, is about $150 million. Then you take a look at NMB, what they're doing at Washington Park, it's $36 million. So I think that all of us as a body need to kind of sit down, and there'll be a good time, during that workshop that you wanna do, to take a look and probably dive deeper into that, talk to staff, and then all of us work together and see perhaps if we could come up with another price tag or different options as well. I do not want to see this community center disappear. I think this is something that is needed, and I think there's a consensus here in the dais among the commissioners that we do need a community center. I just think that we need to work through it and take a deeper look at, how we could get it done, what's the best way, what we want in that community center. Because at one point, I think we talked about simulation rooms, digital simulation rooms and different things. So obviously, that price tag, if we put state of the art, it's going to go up. And I think the best approach is to take a look at, for instance, what NMB is doing, see something that is going to suffice the community here. Maybe we could, upgrade a little bit. I don't know. But I think we need to have another discussion, that is productive. So this doesn't become a political point, and then we could best serve the community and see how we could get this done. Because I do feel, and I know from feedback that we receive from the residents of the community, we do need a community center. We have beautiful parks, but we don't have a central community center where we could host parties. We have a pool, we have soccer fields, we have whatever, squash, your favorite pickleball, Jerry. So whatever. So I think
you can't have pickleball in Sunny Isles.
We need to reconvene and have a productive conversation or conversations about this matter. And I don't think, it's a budget. So, it's like when you budget for your family on a yearly basis, you don't spend it all. Hopefully, you spend less. Sometimes you spend more, but, it's a budget. So we've, as a city, have always spent less. I'm not comfortable with us bonding out that much money either. So that's why I want to have a productive conversation about it.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
Well, my only comment is that whatever is decided, it goes through us, right? So if we wanted,
Yes,
we wanted
exactly.
the bond, it would go through us. Even if it were presented and we don't want it, then we take it off. It's not the city manager's office that's trying to suck up all the money. They recommend and we accept or reject. So it's on us. It's not the way it's been presented in certain chats, that it's the office that's trying to push money in or out of the budget. It's up to us, and that's why the conversations are useful.
Okay, because we don't normally have so many people in the audience, and I really appreciate that you all stayed, I just want to clarify and add to what the Vice Mayor was saying. When we approve the budget, we approve the budget wholly, and then those items are throughout the year brought back to us. So if anything changes, we can vote things down or up, or we've amended the budget, added things, taken things away. So it's not, like Commissioner Stevenson said, it's fluid. I want to be very cognizant of the time, so I want to give Commissioner Joseph some time if you have some comments.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. City Manager, if I can please, and again, I know that we've talked about this before, but if I can get additional clarification on what normally happens and why we have the schedule that we do from now until the budget meeting, and how are those dates determined?
The dates are determined by law and code and requirement in terms of our deadlines for the budget. So what we have done is we started building everything back basically in February with what your philosophically, some of the things you're talking about now, what you wanted, what we could do, what we couldn't do, to try to prioritize that. And then as we go throughout the year, we get little bits and pieces of information regarding our potential property tax assessment, which lets us know how much money we may or may not have to offset some of our expenses. So the budget is fluid. It's constantly moving. We're bringing people, we're adding, for example, police officers. That offsets our insurances. and all those costs, including especially construction, are constantly going up. So we're adjusting the budget until eventually we have our meetings with you, try to determine what your priorities are, then have a workshop with you to really narrow the focus, which is what we've done, and that's how we ended up with eliminating the potential bond. But along with the elimination of the bond, also we're eliminating the work that was associated with the bond, which is the potential new construction at PCP. The last piece of that puzzle is the setting of our tentative millage rate, which you've set and we've lowered. So based on that, we're limited. Each one of you could have, great ideas that you want to do for the community, but we also have to be mindful of two key things. One is the reduction in the millage, which we've essentially set, and then two, the potential for the loss of property tax revenue depending upon what happens in November. So based on that, we can work backwards from that and fill out the details of where we are in the budget, because some of the costs are set. For example, our personnel cost, those different things, vehicles that we may or may not purchase, equipment for a police department, uniforms, those are all things that we get built into the budget each year. So based upon those factors in all of our meetings, we now have a very good framework for the budget. So when we have if you direct that we have this workshop, some of the things that you may want to add, we're not going to be able to do that unless we take away from somewhere else in the budget. For example, if you want to cut services or special events, there's going to have to be an offset for us to add anything new. So I think based on that, our basic framework and ideology of the budget is set.
Okay,
Now
thank
I
you.
would like to say
Go ahead.
Yes, so I would like to say that last year, I, through negotiations, got the millage rate down to 1.7. Afterwards, it was written in memos and agendas and wherever that I had caused a calamity within the city regarding the budget, which never came to fruition. And now we happen to be lowering the millage rate even less. And no one is talking about what a disaster it is. So I just think that's quite ludicrous.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Susan?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the 4F because it's part of the same discussion. Is the Office of the Inspector General. That was my number one priority for the budget.
Wait. I don't want to jump to the next item.
Oh, we finished this one?
No, if we finish, then we'll go to the next item, which is 4D.
Well, I'll just chime in since Jerry is clearly talking about me. I still disagree. I think it was short-sighted to do it last year. I think it's short-sighted to do it this year, lowering the millage, given last year was the possibility, and this year is the real possible. It's even more possible because this amendment is going to be on the ballot. So lowering the millage when we're looking at possibly losing all this possible revenue if this amendment goes through, I frankly don't understand it. So it was a bad idea last year. It's a bad idea this year, in my humble opinion. Obviously, you guys disagree.
Okay,
Didn't you vote for it twice?
thank you. All right.
No?
All right, next item, 4D.
4D is a C. I'm
C, sorry. Okay,
4C
4C.
is a discussion by Commissioner Syverson regarding Gateway Center rentals.
Okay.
Okay, and this one is gonna start also with a question. So what is it that it is, I heard rumors that something's gonna be changing with the way we are managing the rentals for Gateway. So is anything that you guys can share with us right now?
Mr. City Manager, is there a change to the gateway rental policy?
We don't have any proposed changes right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll continue. So how we got to the system that we have right now? In 2022, there was competitive bidding and only one person or one company was the bidder. And then we gave them a contract to basically manage the events in Gateway Park. Just as a for reference, that park overall it costs around $40 million, and we give the control of the events to a private company. So that private company, we did a contract with them in 2022. We did a an amendment, first amendment with them in 2024. In 2024, the contract changed, and now it was for 2 years. In August of this year, it's going to expire. But when we renew it, the amendment in 2024, something changed. And now the city manager is the only one who decides if he's going to renew or not, meaning it's not coming to us for a vote. So knowing that the contract is going to be expiring this month and that we don't have apparently any plan to do or what to do with it, so now you guys know to do it. I heard very bad comments about the process. We used taxpayer money, over $40 million to build it, and then we gave it to a private contractor to make money out of it. So right now, if anybody wants to rent it, they set the price of, they had exclusive use of giving the food, the flowers, entertainment, etc. If the person who wants to rent it doesn't want to do it with them, then they have to pay a fee for that. Right now, when this contract came to us for the amendment, it was said that they have over 447 events in 2 years, and it had a revenue of over $115,000. So right now, I'm going to request that reconciliation, because I like to read the budgets. I study the budgets. I was not able to put that $150,000 figure together. So I request that reconciliation for the next meeting. Also, a list of all the events that had happened since 2022 through the rental company. A confirmation if the city manager is going to be renewing that contract without coming to us for a vote. And which is a written policy governing. So, which is a written policy governing who may use this space for free and what criteria. Because we do have a criteria right now for donations and sponsorships. However, certain events had happened in there that had never come to us for a vote either. So either the criteria exists and we're not using it, or it doesn't exist. So I'm putting those 4 things as a request. I'm going to write them down. Mauricio, I'm going to send it to you to make it easier, okay? Even though that is being recorded. So that's about it.
All right. Either the deputy manager or the manager, if you can please clarify, just top line, how that contract, how this scheme is set up. What portion do we get versus the contractor?
So there is a rental, there's a line item in the invoice for the rental of the facility, and we get 70% of that, and they get 30% of that. It used to be $2,400. We did reduce it because we were hearing that it was too much from the public, and there was discussion about trying to get more rentals. So we gave a 50% additional discount to any resident using it for a personal event, like a birthday party or a wedding or something like that.
So approximately, I know you don't have it in front of you, but off the top of your head, how much is the rental for a resident?
So the room, it all depends.
Well,
so
ballpark for the room.
So I have 2 examples from this year,
Okay.
the most recent and the first. One of them was only, so one was a total of $5,938.34, all the way to someone else had a bigger, grander event that totaled $40,139.87.
And that includes everything. That's the total.
That includes everything.
And we got 70% of that,
40,000.
or we get 70% of the rental of the space?
We get 70% of the rental of the space.
Okay, so the cost for the food, the third party gets 100%.
Right, so the third party manages the entire thing. So what color tablecloths you want, how you want the room set up. There's a lot of back and forth that they do. It's an event planner, essentially.
Right,
So
and-
it's not just a caterer, it's an event planner.
Right. And look, when I was first elected, I brought this up to you because I did not like this contract at all. Very similar reasons as Commissioner Stevenson said, because I thought that we could probably do a better job. And it's sort of been something that I've also wanted to bring up. Again, ballpark, how much would it cost us if we have someone like that on staff?
I mean, you're talking about a position, so I couldn't ballpark that right now because I'd have to see what the going rate is for an event planner. And then there's benefits and finding office space for them and everything else that goes with that.
Okay. And do you know off the top of your head how much we make off of that space? Or have made?
I do not.
Okay. All right. So I think we can get that information based on the request from Commissioner Stevenson. Did you want to add something, Commissioner Joseph?
No.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Oh, anybody else? Yes.
No.
No? Go ahead.
Okay, so like I said, the contractor keeps 100% of the catering, the flowers, the decor, the entertainment of every event. So as an example, and probably it will be good if you guys can share those examples with us with detail. So the maximum that they can charge, if it's not somebody, if it's not a resident, if I'm not mistaken, is $4,800. I believe is the maximum that they can. So, of a $40,000 contract, if somebody pays $5,000, then the private company is getting over $35,000 from that simple contract. We have over 300 employees in the city, and we have continuously are making events, very large, some smaller like the one that we just have it outside. So we do have a lot of talent that it is able and capable of doing this. So if we need to hire, I think it's going to be more lucrative for the city to get somebody and keep it in-house, and then, of course, outsource whoever is making their party, the flowers that they want to use, and the food, and not having built a $40-something million public ballroom and park to then give somebody else to make money out of it.
Okay.
So if I can just clarify.
Please, yes.
So, for example, of that 40,000, 25,300 is just the catering. So it was for 115 people. That's food. It was open bar. It's wine service at the table, so it
These are hard costs.
Correct. I mean, so we're never going to get anything close to $40,000. We will have an employee doing a whole lot of work for us still to get approximately the same thing, because we still have to pay the flower person. It's
You have
a
the
pass-through.
incidentals.
And then I don't even know. I'd have to talk to procurement about, how do I even procure flowers? Do I have to go get 3 quotes because I'm using a city, cutting a city check? So there's a lot of things we would have to put into place.
So I have a question. The 40,000, that's revenue. That's not profit, right?
No, that's the cost of the event.
No, that's
the cost of the event. Yeah.
Yeah.
The price that who paid? The person that threw the party that wanted to. Okay. So what is the profit to the event planner? Okay, so don't say that they made 40,000. We don't. That
No,
that
we
is
don't know what-
revenue. That is sale. That is
we don't know what the
sales.
net is.
That's what I'm trying to say. So they need to. That person that is the event planner will have to pay for the food. So I just want to clarify that point, because the way you presented that, you said they made $40,000. That is, they charge $40,000, and then they have to pay for expenses. So I just want that to be clear, so people don't get confused. Yeah.
Right, and some of those expenses, again, for the purpose of the public, is there's a requirement to clean the restroom, so that's a salary. There's a requirement to have off-duty police officers. Again, those are hard costs that we would not necessarily, we would definitely not make any money off of. Okay, Vice Mayor, did you want to? All right, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, Mayor, in light of the discussion, is it the intention of the commission that you want it? We had competitively bid it before. That's how we ended up where we are with extensions. So right now, we're in a time period where we could put it out to bid or look at other options.
So
Other
who is-
options of hiring staff would also affect our budget. So we need to be considerate.
So who is the company we have now? Who owns the bid right now?
The name of the company is Style Catering.
I don't know them. From what I've seen, I've been to one or two of the events. I looked like they did a good job.
I'm not opposed to bidding it out. It's always a good idea, and it could end up being them again, but I'd like, everyone else, what is your opinion?
Are we happy with the current provider?
Have any complaints?
We are happy with them.
We are.
Yes.
I know that the complaints that I've heard were generally people felt that they should get it for free. They felt like, well, why do we even have to pay for the space? And that has been the biggest complaint, because to Commissioner Lama's point, the food, the flour, those things are not profit. And I don't think we're in a position to allow anyone to use it for free, because even at the heavily discounted resident cost, so any damage, meaning like the carpet or wear and tear, I mean, that's included in that cost, correct?
They have to leave a deposit, and if there's extensive damage, they don't get their deposit returned.
Right, but the cost is not just we like to charge people. There's
No. I'm running electricity, water, paper products in the restrooms.
right, and the wear and tear on the property. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, this provider has to carry liability insurance and all of that, right? Yeah.
But
Yeah,
whoever rent, they have to get an insurance of $1 million on their name, in our name as well. So the insurance, anyway, whoever's gonna rent, they has to have paid for the insurance. So we had the same company since 2022, and this company was the only bidder. So we never had like a real competition, So, you guys know it's very uncomfortable when we are not bidding and just giving the contracts to whoever we feel familiar with. So I would like to see options of doing it in-house and then put that revenue back to the people, especially how we're talking about property taxes. So we need revenue sources. So this is it could be a very good revenue source if
It could be a loser.
if it's managed correctly. And then and also we can then discuss if that's the path we want to go, or if we want to bid this and put it out there and see what other options we're going to have with somebody else.
All right. I need to know, because everyone's kind of saying different things. Are we at status quo? Are we looking at bidding it out? What is your opinion?
I think that if it's at the point where it can, because it did go out to bid, but they were the only ones. So if we're at that point where it can go out to bid, that's fine. As I understand it, this is a revenue source with a zero work, right? They're basically doing all the work and we get a percentage. So that's easy money and limited liability. So I think that's a good setup. And it's, when you work on that percentage, if people are using it, great, then we're making money. And if people are not using it, we're not losing money.
Right.
But if you hire somebody for that purpose and suddenly nobody's having events, then you're stuck with this position. So I like the setup. We only had the one company really qualify the last time. So I think it's the way to go is to protect against possible loss by keeping the percentage situation, but seeing if we can get a competitive process. Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Lama?
Yeah, we could go out to bid regarding hiring someone. I mean, we'll have to run a P&L, but I'm not sure if that's, the best way, to be honest with you. But then again, we'll have to run a P&L. We don't know what profit this current vendor is making from, having, the management of that space. And we'll have to do some research to see if something viable or even worthwhile, because we can make some profit, but I don't know if that's where some of our efforts should be focused on, especially that now that November is coming up, we don't know what's going to happen with the property tax bill. So there's other things that we need to kind of prioritize, I think.
And as a reference as well,
Yeah.
to run Gateway, it costs us around 1.2 million a year, around. So we can call it like we are making actually profit or revenue out of it. We're not. We're losing bad right now. So clearly, the way we are doing it right now, and when I say run it overall for the numbers that I got from the budget, okay? So overall, to run that that building is around $1.2 million a year. So we
Is that accurate, Mr. City Manager? That sounds a little high.
I'd have to check. I'm not
Okay,
sure. I'm
could
not
we get
sure.
clarification on that number, please?
Yes. So we need to make sure that we get closer to at least make some revenue out of the rooms that we have there. Not only the big room and other rooms. We run a lot of good senior programs there. And
those are subsidized. So you got to
Correct.
remember the majority of
Correct.
those programs are subsidized. We don't know what's going to happen in November. So
Correct.
that's my point.
And mine as well.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be a little bit more creative using the resources that we have right now to try to make a little bit more money than the one we're making right now. And like I said, we have a very, very good talent pool of employees running events continuously. So to the point that next year we are apparently planning to spend around $500,000 only for the city anniversary. So I do believe we can
might not happen.
take care of it. Exactly.
So
we might not.
Okay, what I'm actually from this discussion, I'm leaning very much towards keeping a third party because you're right. It's definitely, we're not making any profit. It's revenue to go towards paying for the light and the landscaping, everything else. So do we have consensus to bid this out? Yes.
I'm
I'm
in
for bidding
favor
it
of
out,
bidding
but
that
to
out.
keep it with a third party.
All right. All right. So city manager, if you have consensus to bid it out.
Yes, just if I could add one thing. Everything that you've discussed today is good deductive reasoning. And for that reason, I was planning on extending the contract because it does expire in the end of August.
So we don't have a
And
lot
then
of time
now
anyway.
we can also put it out to bid. If I don't extend it, the contract expires in August and there wouldn't be any rentals until it's bid out, which could take us a couple of months. There is a termination clause in the extension, so it could be flexible in terms of how long.
What is the
extension-
termination clause?
Well, you're going to have to terminate for convenience. You don't really have for cause. So you can terminate for convenience. I'd have to look at the actual signed agreement, but my understanding is that the expiration was at the beginning of August, not the end of August. So
We already expired. That was my first question, actually.
So, okay, because
but
I know that
I just have my copy. I don't have the signed copy. So it's not always exactly the same. Sometimes things change after I've drafted it. So I'll have to see the actual signed contract.
all right. I know that there is an event being planned in November because someone contacted me regarding that. So, and they're already in conversations with the third
But
party.
to the question, though, yes, you have a termination for convenience clause in
Mm-hmm.
building most of your contracts, including this one. And we just have to basically let them know at that point, and certainly any monies they're owed, they're paid, or in this case, not really, it would be us that'd be owed money potentially. And you can go out to bid.
No, but what I'm saying is that whatever events they're already in the process of planning,
Correct, yes. So you
Need to be
you do have to
honored.
look at, yes, you're going to have to look at that as well.
Right.
Because you don't want to get into situations where a third party, not them, but a third party that's actually engaged the facility as well. Let's say it's a wedding. And
Yeah,
you
and then
don't
we
want to
don't
ruin
have
somebody's
anyone.
wedding, right? So
it's
we have to be
a
cognizant of
doctor
that.
summit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So timing is going to be an issue.
All right. So, Mr. City Manager, or actually the attorney, if we wanted to extend the contract while we put it out to bid, is that something that's possible?
That would, it is if it takes two to tango.
Are
If
we
the
okay to keep going? We're at 30
yes.
minutes.
Another 10 minutes.
Oh, we have another 10 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
It takes two to tango, so they would have to agree to, right now you have 1 year renewals built into your contract. So if we go to them and say, listen, you can rebid on this if you want, and, we'll just extend it for 3 months, 4 months, whatever, they would have to agree to that.
Right, well, obviously, they would have to agree to it, but there's nothing that prevents us from doing it or locks us into another year.
No, unless it's already been renewed for a year, but even then, that could be negotiated. But I just don't have the specifics on the contract.
Okay,
If I may, I do.
please.
Termination for convenience, it terminates immediately, and then anything that they already have a contract for, they get to continue with that, however far out in advance it is. So even if they have a contract for something in January, they would still have the ability to finish that one project.
Yeah,
Yes.
so no one's left in the lurch.
But then they cannot hire anymore.
Okay, and so how long, and again, I wasn't prepared for this conversation, so I'm sure you weren't, but how long would it take to procure someone new? Let's say we wanted to go with someone new. It would be at least 3 months, correct?
Yes,
At the
at
minimum
least
3
3
months.
months, minimum.
All right. So do we have consensus to ask them?
Well, if you have
Well,
people.
assuming, yes, but.
We've had
I'm
that before where no one steps up
Correct.
Yeah, but then you have them in place, so
unless
that,
they get perturbed and say, you know what, I'll finish my contracts and goodbye.
Well, they can't walk away.
Well, their contract is terminated.
Right, well, if it's terminated. All right, so 3 months,
Sure.
okay?
Just want to caution, 3 months puts you in a month that does not have a commission meeting. So
4
it really
months.
might be January by the time we bring it to you for
Okay.
That's
approval.
perfect.
4 months. All right, let's see if that's possible, if they agree to that. Okay? All right. Next item.
The next item is 4D, discussion by Commissioner Stuyvesant regarding the elimination of the beach event requirements.
Okay?
And we don't have no public speakers, right?
We didn't have any, no.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So every resident of the city pays for the beach. But if you live west of Collins and you want to have a birthday on the Sound or whatever other kind of party, the city published a document titled the Public Beach Park Events Permit Application. Under the word public, it says, and I'm quoting, all individuals seeking a special event permit must contract with an upland property owner, and special event permits are not issued directly to individuals. So we created a public beach application and told the public they cannot apply. And this is just a form. In our code, chapter 233 says you need a permit for an event, but section 2331 make an exception. It does not preclude a condominium association from hosting regular events for its unit owners. So the association on the east side is exempted, and the individual on the west side is required to find one to sponsor their party. So I have a question for our city attorney right now. What is an upland property owner defined? Because I could not find the definition in our code, or it only live in the code compliance form. And we spoke about this in the past, like something we cannot define, how can we enforce?
Well, you got my responses to your memo?
Yeah, but I
Okay.
wanted to.
Okay, so not every term in a statute, ordinance, or anything else needs to be defined if it's self-explanatory. So an upland property owner is obviously an owner that is upland from where a body of water is. Same thing with a submerged landowner. You own land that is submerged. So not every term has to be defined within a statute or ordinance. You couldn't write laws in that case because every term would have to be defined. And in chapter chapter 162, they make reference to upland property. Oh, so 161, I'm sorry. In the Florida statutes, they refer to that term and they don't define it as well. So it's one of those self-explanatory terms.
Okay?
Okay, so this is something that we can easily fix to allowing the public and anybody, any like resident or whatever terms we want to use, owners or so of the city of Sunny Isles Beach to be able to apply to have events on the beach. I did receive, and I believe everybody else received, an email from one of the, I'm looking for it, from the attorney from Aquilina, requesting not to change the status quo because they consider the beach an extension of their home and they don't want to see, I'm paraphrasing because I cannot find the email right now. So, like I said, this is something that, according to the staff, was decided by the previous commission. So there is something that we can change and make sure that anybody in Sunny Isles that wants to make an event on the beach can apply for it.
Okay, so for clarification, before I take comments from the commission, right now, if you want to go and have a birthday party and set up a table and a tent on the beach, do you have to get a permit for that?
It depends.
Well, for
and-
instance,
and
on
for-
the weekends, we
yes or
see
no.
people come on the beach and they have boom boxes and they
Right.
put out a whole spread. Are they getting permits for that?
So let me preface by the fact that, in looking at all this, your ordinance is in dire need of help.
Okay.
Okay. It's vague in certain circumstances. To the commissioner's point, I think if you're going to have, and it does depend on the event, right? So if you have an event where you're going to have 25 of your relatives and you're going to have an event on the beach, you don't need utilities, you don't need water, you don't need electricity.
You're just dragging it all up yourself.
The upland property owner has nothing to do with that because, as I explained in my responses, and I don't know if you've read them, and this goes back to 1989 when with the beach renourishment, we can regulate the beach, but the beaches across the state of Florida, and it's been litigated for years, is a balance of interests, right? You have the upland property owners that have, in this case, more importantly, littoral rights, LITTORAL, which is basically their right to the shore to enjoy the beach. But that beach, because of their renourishment back in 1989, is really the state's held in trust for the people of Florida, that's constitutionally, up to the erosion control line, which is pretty high here in Sunny Isles. So it's a balancing of interest. The public has a right to it, and the property owners also have a right to it, so they have to share. So certainly, if you're going to have an event that is going to require power, water, whatever else, and there's none there, they're going to have to cooperate with somebody up front they're going to be able to tap in, right? So in a case like that, you would want to ensure, because you can't have generators on the beach and things like that. But unless that's really a requirement, unless, again, you have a huge event like a Tortuga Music Festival where you're going to severely interfere with the literal rights of the upland property owners, you may still need some kind of agreement there. If you have this huge monstrosity built temporary tent or stage set up before in front of somebody's property, there may be issues there too. But that doesn't really happen here.
Wait 1 second. So for clarification, because I've had residents ask me for, how do I get a permit? And I want to make sure I gave them the right information. So people that wanted to bring chairs and wanted to have like poetry readings, or they wanted to have some
Yoga.
I guess yoga, and they wanted no electricity. They told me we want to put out candles that are on battery. And I asked them, I said, are you going to have music? And they said, yes. I said, well, as long as you're not putting up a stage and you're not putting anything up that is preventing people from around to enter that area, you probably don't need a permit. So outside of that.
Right, and that's the problem with your ordinance, is it's the way it's written, it's very vague.
Right.
So to the
Because I have a question before you continue, please. Okay.
The code compliance manager in the last few months has been working on revamping the entire ordinance, and I've helped him a little bit just in looking at it, but he's done the bulk of the work, and we're in the process of doing that because there needs to be more of a definition of when that, to your question, is triggered. When is it an event and when is it not an event? And there's no way you can define every scenario. It really is on a case-by-case basis, but we could do a better job in the ordinance. But there's some events that you can't possibly list every potential trigger that could create it, but you can create enough of a general trigger, again, to at least give people notice as to when they would and when they would not. What we have on the website and all that with regards to you have to have the contract in all circumstances, I think is problematic to the commissioner's point. Not certainly for instances where those utilities are going to be used, because you have no, except for Sampson Park.
We don't have utilities,
exactly, right. So there's no doubt that we can regulate that. It's just we need to do a better job on our ordinance.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
And
Susan.
about the 161 that you were referring to, it says the title seaward of the erosion control line vests in the state, like we know, held in trust for all the people. Condos own upland to the ECL, to the erosion control line. The White Renourished Beach is sovereign public land. They hold riparian rights, access, view, bathing, not title to the sand, and not a veto over a permit. Right now, they are the one deciding who even gets to apply. Because you have to go to the building and beg them to be the ones putting the application for you, because nobody can apply. Only the buildings can apply. So
That's where some of the language needs to
exactly,
change.
but that's what 161 says. So the municipality are the one who has to enforce. We are giving here the power to a private condominium deciding who can and cannot make an event. And then remember that we do have like some kind of a precedent, because right now we charge $150 a year for these condos to apply to preset and put those chairs on the beach. I'm going to repeat in case that people don't get that number. $150 a year to allow them to get all the spaces that they get that is supposed to be in the website, because I continue getting people asking, we asked this long time ago to be able to put those maps in the city website. So these condos pay $150 a year to preset their chairs, but nobody can even ask to make an event on the beach. Like I said, their upland property rights don't go other the erosion control line. And we have flooding kind of here in the beach as well. So the erosion control line is basically at the end of their own buildings. I got really good lawyers reviewing this, and they gave me all these notes.
I
so
won't
you
take
know.
that as an insult, but
No. Like you're doing the same,
okay.
saying the same thing.
But the literal rights, though,
Yeah.
they do have some rights past the erosion control line. There is, with the riparian rights and the literal rights, not the riparian rights, but the literal rights, they do have right access to the shore that
Correct.
goes above and beyond the erosion control line. So it's not that they have no rights there.
No. That's not the reading of the 161. And I'm saying that you are in the same level that what they are saying. Right. So to your point, and their point is the same.
Yeah, the only thing they really control full out is what's on the survey of their property, which may include a little bit of sand, but typically you have to go survey by survey.
Don't lie.
They control that. But otherwise, it's that balancing.
Correct.
And again, our ordinance and our website, to the extent that it says you have to, in all circumstances, is problematic. So that it's in the process of being fixed. We're just not.
Okay, if it's gonna be fixed, that's all I'm asking for. Because like I said, we cannot have a public application where the public cannot apply. That doesn't make any sense. So the people has to be able to go and request. And then we are the one who say yes or no. By giving that veto power to a private entity, I don't think it's the intention of the law either. Yeah.
So if somebody wants to have a party at Samson, who do they apply to?
That's in the park, you mean?
No, on the beach.
On the beach, it still would go through, Susan, I guess it would go through.
Who does that go through?
Go through code, right?
We don't really, I've never had anybody ask.
But
have a
let's
party
say, so to Commissioner
have an
Susan's
event
point,
at the
so she's saying that nobody can apply privately. But we have three places on the beach that technically those are, so we have Pier Park, we have Ellen Wynn, and we have Samson. So if somebody says, I don't want to work with whatever building, Sam's Point, I want to do it at Samson, where we do have electricity, we do have water, would they apply to us?
Yes.
They cannot
we
apply.
are-
No, that's
all
not true.
application-
Wait, hold on a second, please let one person at a time.
All applications have to come, for a special event, private or public, all have to come through you.
What I meant is who is considered the upland
We
owner?
would be, but you're not set up to necessarily give away, or you're not set up to just give away power or water or things of that sort. So, there would have to be arrangements made. So if somebody needs power and they're getting it from Sansom Park, we'd have to set up something where they'd be
It would
allowed.
be a rental, similar to other parks.
Right, okay.
If may I,
Please.
So we don't have that
one
set
second,
up
one
in all
second.
these years?
Okay, Jerry, I
let
asked this specific question in March, and the answer was by our deputy city manager that it was a decision made by a previous administration that we are not here apparently, because I never get clarification of which administration, that Samson Park was not part of the rental parks program.
Right.
So,
no sense.
So right now, I want really clarification, because what we are saying, what is being said right now, is not the same of what it was said in March. In March, they told us people cannot apply.
No, I'm not the park. I'm talking about the beach.
The beach. Well, that's what I'm saying. The
No,
beach.
but what they were talking about before, and correct me if I'm wrong, was the park.
No, it was the beach. It was the same discussion that we had in March.
Wait, 1 second.
Okay, so since we opened, if you wanted to have a birthday party in the park, like at the pavilion in a table, you can reach out. We do let you. And then we have certain criteria, no taping things to, so you don't damage the park. The beach, a past commission, which this commission has every right to change,
Right.
had requested that we not put Sampson Oceanfront Park in the rental program for the reason of it was the only oceanfront park for all of Winston Towers. The majority of the people who walk across the street, that was their request, and we have followed that. This commission has every right to change
So
that.
let me just play a scenario. So if somebody wanted to have an event, let's say like yoga, every week, every month, and they rented it, and we could rent Sampson Park, and they rented it, every last Friday of the month. Would that mean that would prevent the people from Winston Towers from using that area of the beach?
Essentially, yes, we'd have to section off an area for them. And as I said, a past commission
Right.
wanted it to be oceanfront property for anybody at any time without restriction.
Which includes the pier.
The pier? What do
I'm
you-
asking, was the pier included in that exemption?
No.
Okay,
The pier
so-
was not.
so the
But
pier-
I will tell you, this conversation was before we rebuilt the pier.
Okay.
It goes back that long.
And Ellen Wynn?
Ellen Wynn was never even a topic of discussion.
Okay, so, obviously, there's a lot of questions here, and since you are revising the code, I think it's a good conversation
we'd have to
to
look
have.
into the actual ability to rent the beach itself as a city. That just came up now, but yeah, no, we're trying to.
Look, I've
clean it all up.
seen many teenagers at the end of the school year set up parties on the beach, and they do what they do, and if they do it wrong, we kick them out. But people are using the electricity there to charge their phones or whatever it is they listen to music. So it is a public service. It is a public park. It is being used. It's not being limited. I think to your point, Commissioner Susan, you're talking specifically about the yoga events that were.
No, I'm just talking about anybody every resident of Sunny Isles to be able to apply to have an event on the beach. It's
Right.
very
So
simple.
and I think that we have
right
three
now, we
places.
don't have that. And whenever you're going to do event, whenever even you're going to do it, if you're going to rent Pelican Park and the first floor, guess what? So somebody is not going to be able to use that space when we are renting. So the same thing applies for every single rental. So to the example that, they're going to be taking a portion of the sand to do the yoga event or whatever event, clearly, if you have an event, it's because you need the space to do it. So the point here is that the process is wrong. It was decided a long time ago. It doesn't apply anymore. And probably when that decision was made, it should have never been made that way either. And it's just so disingenuous to put public event application when you cannot even apply. So we don't even know the number of people wishing to apply. To say that nobody has applied, they can't. It's impossible to apply. So I don't even know what kind of discussion are we having here right now. The process is wrong and it needs to be fixed. It's not, and I don't want to repeat the things that have been told to me, but it's apparently that they don't want certain type of people making events on our beach because it's an exclusive beach. So right now, the way it seems is that the beach is for the rich. So to make an event, you have to live on the beach. And I don't think that's the kind of commission that we want to be or the kind of city that we are.
Yeah, I don't think anyone on this commission has said that.
No. I didn't say anyone
okay,
here
and-
on the
I live on
commission.
the west side,
And
for the record.
and certainly we want everyone to be able to enjoy the beach. I think that the challenge is specifically for an organized event that requires water and electricity and the right of way to get to that area. So I think the solution is the 3 areas of the city that we have control over. Sampson is always going to be a challenge because unlike Pelican first floor, that beach is used by Winston Towers every single morning, from morning to way past when it's supposed to be closed. So it's not something that we can just say, okay, you'll just, have to deal with it, unless you want to deal with the wrath of Winston
But it's not
Towers.
like you have an
To
event
be
every
clear,
day
though,
either.
Yes.
So if they don't need power, they don't need anything like that. They don't have to be
permit.
at where the city designates. They could be anywhere.
Anywhere, right? No, right. So it's only if
The
they,
yoga people keep getting move out when they're making their own yoga things. I receive those even pictures all the time. They try to do their yoga and then they tell them that they don't have a permit to be doing
May I-
yoga.
Oh, there's different.
one at a
so,
time. You'll go next. After the attorney, you'll go next.
Sorry,
Okay.
years ago, I think this was 3 years ago that we dealt with it.
That's you.
There is a component with the yoga, though, to the extent, at least that as it was back 3 years ago when it was first brought to my attention, but I don't know if that's changed. There's also a different component if somebody's conducting their business on the
Right.
beach.
They're charging.
So, right. So if you, it's a little different than just having an event. It's if you're charging also the public, you're now conducting business on the beach. So there's an added component there. I'm not saying that's the case here, but that I do remember a few years ago that was one of the issues.
Right, and I have actually also had people ask me saying that they want to have an event and they want to charge. Do they? And I said, do not do that. You need a permit for something like that. But Commissioner Lama, you wanted to speak.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to something like this, the city should be the managing and approving entity for these types of applications. I understand that the way it's set up right now, the building that's on the sand would have to be involved in that process, right?
Only if you're going to use their resources. Otherwise, the beach isn't theirs.
Well, obviously, if you're going to use exactly. So, but what I like to basically what I want is for everybody to have the same access and be able to, fill out the same application. Now, talking about the other side of the coin, I have received complaints from time to time where you have maybe 50 people in a yoga class and they're basically taking up the entire beach. I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen, but it was done without the city's knowledge. They did not come to the city for an application. So going back to my point, the city should be the only entity managing and approving this. Now, if somebody wants to have speakers and wants to have electricity, there should be a process in place or part of the same process where they do obviously will need to talk to that building. But at the end of the day, it should be us approving or
Yes, no,
not
absolutely. And
approving this.
That's the impetus behind. So every city I know of has a special event permit sort of process, especially coastal cities. And the crux of it is really to control, it really is intended to regulate and ensure the public health, welfare, and safety when you're dealing with events that are going to impact a certain area or impact the public, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a massive event where you're going to be inviting the public and things of that sort, obviously that has an impact not only on traffic, it has an impact on the location you're going to be at. There's all these
There's
things
a
that
public
the
safety
city
component,
right.
yeah.
So as a regulatory body, you're ensuring that that is done correctly,
Correct.
so that it has the least impact on your constituents, and that's what really the intent is, and that's what you try to balance. And beaches are unique because there's a balancing of interests there, unlike if you're strictly going to have a special event on private property or a special event on public property.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
If I-
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to clarify something. Even a oceanside property owner, if they're having an event on the beach, they still need a permit through us as well.
And
Yep.
exactly. So, but I just want the process to be modified so, everybody can apply and it's not dependent on that building on the east side. Now, that building being a sovereign building, they could say, I don't want to give you my electricity. I mean, what happens in that instance?
They would have to find a location.
They will have to
If
find
they
a
need
location,
electric
yeah.
and water and restrooms, they'd have to find a location that was conducive to that.
Yeah.
And parking.
Okay. Yeah.
So as you're revamping the ordinance, I think there's two things that we need to think about. One of them is the intended length of the event. Because if it's a birthday party that's for an hour or two and you show up with some pizza and you go home, and no, I don't think you need a permit for that. But if it's going to be longer, where you're more likely to need a bathroom or other things, then you would need a permit. And then the other thing is the expectation of privacy. If I'm, with a bunch of kids with pizza on the beach, I don't have an expectation of privacy. And if somebody comes and sets their towel there, then it is what it is. Then I can move, or I can, just welcome them to the party. So where there is an expectation of privacy, then a permit would be required, even if they don't want, even if it's short, because they want that exclusive use of whatever that is. But I also put myself in the shoes of somebody living on the beach. I would not want there to always be an event, even if it's not speakers, but if you just have people can be loud even without speakers. And I think we have to also be cognizant of that, not being disruptive to a particular building, right? That maybe everybody wants to be in front of Aquilina. Because then you become disruptive to their quality of life, and suddenly everybody's running in on the weekends using their bathrooms or whatever. So those are just my 2 cents, to consider the length of how long they intend the event to be, and that expectation of privacy. If there's no expectation of privacy, I don't see why a permit would be needed, because then that's the exclusivity of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's really no expectation of privacy.
Okay. Exactly. Well, it would be I guess I'm thinking the exclusive use.
No, but there's no exclusive use on the beach.
They don't have it.
But then what's the point of the permit?
No, it's not exclusive to the. So if you're having a special event on the beach and you set up a little tent and you have 50 of your family members, it's a big family reunion, whatever, a member of the public can walk right through there. I can't prevent you. You're not going to have police officers saying that you can't come on this square piece of sand. Okay, you're sharing the beach. You're going to be set up. Most people, I presume, are not going to want to crash your party, but you as a city can't come in and say, no, for the next 5 hours, yes, you can set up here and have your party with all the safeguards that we ensure in place based on our ordinance, but you can't exclude the public. Just like right now with the chairs that are pre-staged, you can't prevent a member of the public to take their chair, pluck it right down there, and sit right next to those preset chairs. It's everyone's beach.
Okay.
So I want to be careful that we're not over-regulating something, because I do agree to Commissioner Stephenson's point that there was those yoga people that were being asked to move, and I think that was because there was not clarification in our ordinance. But on the other hand, I also don't want to be in a situation where we're going to have a wedding on the beach every single, weekend from outside the city, because we can't just limit it to the residents. It has to be everyone.
It's in trust for the people.
Right, exactly. So, right now, what would stop me, and I'm assuming it's because I would put up chairs and, stack chairs or whatever, or maybe I could, if I had a 50-person wedding. Could I put 50 chairs out on the beach now without a permit?
Without a permit? No.
Yeah.
No, because that's going to be, again, it's the level of, and it's hard to define in a perfect set of words that's going to apply to everything.
Right.
But that's an impactful event. 50 seats for a special event, you're going to put an archway.
Right.
Presumably, you're going to have a speaker, possibly so somebody can hear. You're going to have to, you want to ensure there's garbage receptacles. You're going to make sure that you know who they are, because if there is damage to the beach, if there is damage to anything they litter, whatever else. That's part of the protection of the public.
Right now,
That is
regarding
intent-
that, there's nothing in writing, correct?
Excuse me?
There's nothing in writing right now regarding what you're speaking of.
There is in your application, there's some of the things on the questions we asked to make sure that, that it is in the application.
Yeah, but it's variable. Unless you have something in writing, what you're discussing now, it's variable, and people, it becomes prejudicial.
Variable in what sense? I'm sorry.
That it can, if you don't have it in writing, exactly what you're allowing.
No, I understand the writing part, but what do you mean, what's variable? What are you talking about the criteria? You're talking about the event?
Criteria, yeah.
Right.
And then it becomes prejudicial, because then you might one day exclude someone or tell them you can't do this, but then the other day you might say, yes, that's fine, and look away.
Well, right. So that's why the ordinance, we've been working on it to make that clearer so people know when it's triggered. Because some of the questions we get is, do I need one or don't I need one, right? So you don't know. That should be relatively clear for most events, whether you should or you shouldn't have one. There are going to be exceptions where you're going to be in the gray area. It's like, well, do I need one? Do I not need one? Then you contact us and we can work on that.
But I hope you're taking notes, because we need to define something after today.
No, of course. And other cities have, I've dealt with this in other cities as well with, and it's varying degrees. You have bigger beaches, you have bigger events. Your beach, luckily, is large enough, but you don't have a lot of outside of jurisdiction events, which is helpful because that's easier to control than when you have an influx of people coming in trying to do concerts on your beach and things like that.
Right.
Because we don't have parking, which is a good thing too.
Yeah, but that's a good point about the concerts.
They don't have a parking, where to park. So
Right,
where
It
they
doesn't
gonna
matter. You could find ways.
One day
but,
we'll have parking.
You're also lucky because of the way you're set up, you don't have a huge spring break presence. So that helps you a lot too.
Right.
They can continue being in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. We're at time anyways, almost. So
Mayor, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because we are rewriting the ordinance, and one of the questions the code manager had was, special events, your birthday party, your wedding that you've discussed is one issue, but yoga, where I'm charging a fee, is a business permit. Is it the consensus of this commission that you want to allow businesses to operate on the public sand?
I am
Not
not
without a
comfortable with
permit.
that at all. At all.
No, with a permit.
I'm not comfortable with that because
Yeah, you have another portion of your code that deals with commercial activity, which you don't typically want to allow commercial activity because then you open up the door. So then you have the people walking down and up and down the beach. Do you want to rent this condo? Do you want to buy this bikini? Do you want to buy this
right,
bottle of water?
exactly. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
So you kind of open up the door to that if you allow commercial activity, and you already have something in your code that prevents that makes it unlawful to do that. So you just have to be careful. And again, it gets and we have to look at it, and we'll look at it. So let's say you have a business that has a storefront on the west side. And we'll use yoga. I don't know why they would have a storefront on the west side, but let's say yoga has a storefront on the west side, right? And they do the actual yoga on the beach. Technically, their business tax receipt that they need to get is for the business that's across the street, not necessarily where they're actually doing it. So it gets convoluted. So a lot of those are going to be on a case-by-case basis, depending on the dynamics of it. So it's a lot to work through. And again, it's not just here, it's every coastal community, whether it's somebody giving surfing classes. There's a bunch of people, I'm sure, that are teaching things
look,
on the beach that you don't even
there was people that
know.
wanted to rent out the, what are they called? Those boats that you stand on. I forgot what they're called.
Oh, okay, but
So I just think that this is a conversation that needs to include certainly whoever is affected by it.
yeah, I have one more question. So if there is no commercial activity permitted, what about the just kids rental?
The county does those. So
there
they
is
have contracts.
So there is allowed.
From the county standpoint, yeah. I mean, and
So they
honestly,
can go to the county instead of coming to us.
yeah, because they have, you can set it up however you want. You just can't conflict with, you can't be preempted or conflict with the county or the state.
Okay.
But the county has franchise agreements with, I think probably the Boucher brothers or somebody, but
Yeah.
they typically do the East Coast. But they have contracts with certain vendors for the beach. So those I don't believe are contracted through us at all.
Okay, we're at time. So next item.
Next item is 4E, a discussion by Commissioner Syverson regarding the early adoption of House Bill 1329.
You can go to the next one. We don't have the time for this one anymore.
You're pulling this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was
All right.
before. So it's
All right, Mauricio.
So 4F is a discussion by Commissioner Syverson regarding the establishment of an Inspector General office.
okay. So I guess we all know what is an inspector general, but I'm going to read it. It's a single independent office, investigators and auditors that review our contracts, our procurement, capital projects, cash fraud, waste, abuse, mismanagement before the money is gone. It reports to the residents, not to the officials they're watching. It is internal affairs for the whole of city government. So I had this also a long time ago. I brought it here. Many municipalities are right now either contracting with other bodies, the inspector general, or having their own inspector, or I don't know, combination. So this was my number one priority for the budget, and it was left out. So I want to include it. I think it's necessary. Like last month, we have an issue with one contract that started for $120,000 and is right now $1.2 million. That is unacceptable. So we do, I believe, the way I see it is like having a police department with our internal affairs. It has to be somebody who's watching. And this is not supposed to cost too much money to the city. Like I said, every municipality that has put a referendum for this, it has passed overwhelmingly. So this is to bring it back to the commission.
Okay, comments?
Yeah, I like to research it more. I don't know enough about something like this, so yeah,
Vice Mayor?
that's my comment.
Commissioner Joseph?
I would, what are the aspects that the Inspector General would be looking into?
Whatever they are tasked to do. Like I said, the best example is like internal affairs for the police department. And like I read before, they are the ones that do, I'm gonna repeat, they have auditors, investigators that review contracts, procurement, capital projects to catch fraud, waste, mismanagement, and abuse before the money is gone.
Okay, so overall watchdog.
So it would
You
be,
may,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, just, you may also, because we were somewhat involved with the Doral OIG. They used to have a charter compliance officer, which they got rid of, and then they came with the OIG. And they've had some challenges there with regards to the amount of, and it depends what you, because a lot of what's described sounds a lot like a city auditor, where the city auditor is like a CPA, investigates whatever you all want him to investigate, him or her, and does rolling audits throughout the year of like every department, things like that. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. It's just, it's a setup of, if it's strictly investigations of potential wrongdoing, from what we've observed in other jurisdictions, they tend to kind of sit around and not have as much to do, especially in a smaller jurisdiction. You know, if you have one issue where it's like you want them to investigate, they'll do that, but they need to have, however you set up, if you set it up, they should have the ability to, again, more like a city auditor, to just go through and act as a check and balance to management, legal, and so on. Because some cities use the city auditor form of charter office, and some do the OIG. OIG is more like investigatory, covers conflicts, ethics, things of that sort. The city auditor's office typically is on the fiscal side, but that's just for you all to consider.
Commissioner Stevenson, could you explain the analogy? Because you said it works like internal affairs for the police. So what does internal affairs for the police do?
They investigate police officers.
Based on what?
Any wrongdoing.
No, but how does the investigation start?
Oh, I don't know how they do it internally. I will not even ask. But it's like it's the
How's it
watchdog of the
triggered?
police.
How's it triggered? I'm trying to see where
Somebody has to make a request or so. But to the auditor part, okay? So right now, I am researching about and continue just still waiting for information, especially the reconciliation of the 533 about the building fund. Because the building fund used to be $8.5 million. And this year it's going to be less than 100,000. Again, it went from 8.5 million to less than 100,000. It's supposed to be around 97,000. So in the answers that I got originally from the staff, they point out to the auditors, to the audit that we passed with flying colors, etc. Guess what? The audit never touched the building fund, the reconciliation, or the 533 statute.
Yeah, that's a different auditor. That's a different audit. That's
Well,
not-
precisely. So, but and the audit was amazing. Guess what? They review what they were asked to review, but they were never asked to review the building fund. So we passed, like I said, flying colors about something that we didn't even ask to check. So I'm going to repeat. They check investment. They check that what we say came in actually came in, that what we say came out actually came out. But one specific question, how we drain $8.5 million of the building fund was never answered. It was never it was not a reconciliation. Why? Because it was not in the scope of the audit. So to point out that everything is okay because we passed the audit, how can they answer a question that they were not
With flying
even asked
colors.
for?
Okay, I just want for clarification. Are you suggesting that there was some wrongdoing?
On the building fund, definitely,
Okay.
100%.
So you're saying that finance is hiding something?
I'm not making any. I'm not pointing fingers to anyone.
Okay.
Because, like I said, the amount of money in, it was the right money in. The amount of money out, somehow it was reconciliated. However, it's very specific how we can use the money of the building fund. And guess what? Building a restaurant is not how you use the money of the building fund. Paying salaries of the general staff of the city, no. The building fund is specifically for building enforcement. It is for inspector to read the reviews, plans, etc. That is what is money that is restricted. So to your question, do I believe it was misused, the money? 100%. And if we have an inspector general office, I will be talking to them and requesting all this to your question. How will something start to be reviewed? Probably by somebody saying, oh, can you check at this because this smells bad.
Let me ask you a question. I know you want to ask something, but I just want to be able to finish this point because if there was, let's assume that there was an inspector general, which would be a charter position, which reports to the commission, correct? Is that what you're asking?
But it reports actually to the residents, but yes, it will come to us and maybe
report
give
to
us
the
a
commission.
They
report.
would have to report to the commission.
To the commission, not
yeah.
to the residents, to the commission. We're representing the residents.
Yeah, okay.
So you're saying you want to be able to individually, each person on this commission, request that person to audit certain portions that you feel there's wrongdoing?
I don't know about the details how we are going to be putting it. I think not only us, probably also employees of the city staff should be able to initiate or request something to be seen. So I think those are the details of how it's gonna be built, and we will probably have to check best practices of other inspector generals in other municipalities. But that's why I'm giving actually two examples. A contract that started with $100 million and right now it's at 1.2 million after amendment after amendment. Building fund that is being used as basically a slush fund to use it for anything or everything. Another example about the building fund. Right now, they are charging for administrative services of the city $1.6 million. However, next year, it's slashed to half, to $800,000. So how is it that now that we are going to have a record use of the building department because we have more permits than ever, we are slashing half of the administrative fee? You know what should be the answer? Because they don't have no more money to spend. because they don't even have now $97,000. So it should be heavily investigated.
Mayor, to your,
So-
I'm so,
Let the attorney, and then just don't forget what you want to say, Commissioner
just because
Joseph.
I'll forget the answer to your question. So typically with the OIG setup, like it is in Doral, Miami Beach, and some other smattering of other places, a formal sworn complaint has to be filed, similar to what your Commission on Ethics does in Miami-Dade, as well as Florida and all that. So it's complaint initiated typically, whether it be by one of you or by a resident or anyone else. It kind of opens up the door. That's the other dynamic too, is you have to decide the scope. With the city auditor aspect, the city commission can ask them to say, hey, let's look into the building fund, and they'll do that. In addition to that, you can have it set up where they are autonomous. They're a charter office as well. They're autonomous where they themselves keep a schedule and they audit, not a different, the state audit you're talking about looks at something completely different. These would be, so for example, some cities I've dealt with had a P card problem, right? So
What?
a P card, a purchasing card problem. right?
Oh, okay.
So the city auditor went on his own because he was charged to do that and looked at it and things were discovered and so on and so forth. So it's like a rolling audit throughout the year of various systems and programs. And then you as a commission can always ask that auditor to say, okay, well, we need to look into this. We need to look into that. Again, you can call it what you want. The OIG, though, for smaller jurisdictions is tough because it involves also, and you can set it up however you want, but the ones I've seen, and I think Doral is this way as well, where if you have a member of the public also alleging something, they get involved with that. And that usually broadens it a lot more, and it involves a bigger budget and so on and so forth, because they're investigating all kinds of stuff at that point, potentially. So it depends how you want to set up. But under both scenarios, you're dealing with a charter amendment where you're creating a charter. It's typically autonomous, except to the extent that they do report to you. There has to be a removal provision, and it has to be funded by the manager. So there's not a complete separation because it always has to be paid.
I mean, I'm not inclined to add anything right now until we figure out what's happening with the taxes.
Yeah.
But Commissioner Joseph, go ahead.
Okay, so isn't there a department within the sheriff's department that does specifically this as well? Fabiola?
You asking me?
Yes.
I don't know the departments of the sheriff department. No, I don't know. It might or may not.
All right. So your issue, basically, from what you've spoken about, is regarding the funds within the building department, correct? And how they're used?
That's not the issue. Is that we need oversight.
Right, okay. So then please explain to me what other issues within the city require the oversight of an inspector general?
But we'll be talking about that if we are not even. First, we need to know if we're going to have the inspector general.
Well, no, I would like, before I would vote on an inspector general, I would like to know what other issues have come to your attention that might require an an inspector general.
I usually don't answer with another question, but I'm going to ask you. So you don't have anything has never come to you of questions of that we need some kind of investigation? Because you claim everybody in the
Well,
city talks to
we-
you and asks you everything, and that
Yes.
you are the one for
And
the
that's
people.
why we have the next item on this agenda.
Okay, so that has nothing to do. This is very specific. We're going to have the inspector general office, yes or no. If you don't want oversight, that's okay. That's your decision. So just like the mayor said, she doesn't want it. That's fine. So I said that we need it.
Okay. Any other comments? No. All right. Let's go to the next item. 4G.
4G is a discussion by Commissioner Joseph regarding the city manager.
Commissioner Joseph.
Okay, so in 2022, when I became a commissioner, I was on the commission with Mayor Dana Goldman. She decided to call for a change in city managers and brought in Stan Morris. I took a wait-and-see approach to see what type of job he did. I knew there were issues when he was, what were you, the assistant city manager, Stan? Under Chris
Deputy.
Russo?
Deputy.
Deputy. So the same position that Susan has now?
I believe so. I don't know the contract, but
Oh, so
I wasn't on the
I'd like to
commission at that
clarify
time.
that. So when Chris Russo was the city manager, what position did Stan have?
so Who are you asking?
I'm asking anyone that can answer.
All right, I wasn't on the commission at that time, so I don't know.
Neither
Deputy,
was
she
I.
just answered you.
It was
Deputy City
So
Manager.
deputy manager.
Stan had Susan's position. And what position did Susan have at that time?
Assistant manager.
So Stan was the deputy and Susan was the assistant city manager. So the deputy city manager was below Susan at that time or not?
No.
I'm trying to
It was
understand
Chris,
the
it was
hierarchy.
Stan, and it was Susan.
Okay, Chris, Stan, and Susan. Okay. Okay. So, good. Okay. So, we had issues in the city that while Chris Russo was the city manager, that
I just want to be careful, please, Jerry, that we're not defaming anyone.
No.
And mentioning
No, no,
anyone.
no.
Okay, I just want to be very, very careful.
No.
He's not
So
here. I don't want to.
No.
Okay.
Please
be careful.
No, I'm
Okay.
talking about my feelings when I became a commissioner, and I thought at that time we should have brought in an outside person as city manager rather than staying from within the city, because I wasn't happy during COVID with what I saw on the commission. I didn't have at that time even think to run for commissioner, but watching during COVID all of the Zoom issues that occurred caused me to want to run in order to try to help and alleviate some of these issues. But being that I was only one vote and Dana Goldman, in her poor judgment,
Please.
okay, brought Stan in as the city manager, I thought I just had to take a wait-and-see approach. And as time went past, and I just have become less enchanted with the job he's done. I don't know. I'm one vote, and I decided to bring this up now with elections happening in November and knowing we have two other commissioners. And at that time, I may have other votes in my favor. So I'm just actually bringing this up now as a courtesy to the city manager to let him know that his job might be in jeopardy.
Okay. Any other comments from the commission? No?
I think the courtesy would have been to just tell him, you don't need to make a public thing about it. And with regards to hiring within the city, we're a tiny city. That's a very limited pool of people. I think you may want to rethink that one. Yeah, no, I obviously, I just don't agree with you. I think having had the experience of more than one city manager, I think Stan has done a fantastic job. And I know that you're waiting for me to term out, to have that conversation, and I don't think that we should be polling the commission here. But, you knew that. You know what my position is. So I'm not revealing. I'm not surprising you with anything. But in your because you not you directly, but you did put out a post on this in a chat, which I alluded to earlier. And that's my issue here. It's like listen, like we went through it, right? Like. I voted for the replacement of the previous city manager. I understand that sometimes you feel that the change is needed. But what I am a little bit, not a little bit, I'm a lot tired of is the constant accusations of things like in that particular message that about like the bond, like he's trying to strap us with this bond. That's something that we would do. Whatever the condition of the city, it's on us. Like what gets done or doesn't get done is because it goes through us. Another constant accusation is lack of transparency. This is the most transparent we've ever been. Can things improve? Sure, there's always room for improvement. But the improvement that we've seen in the years that this city manager has been here you saw it at the opening of this meeting. 3 departments working together for cutting-edge drone program.
Those are the departments.
But all of those things come through the manager, right? We can propose our initiatives, but a lot of the stuff of the day-to-day that gets done are things that are being proposed through the departments and through the manager. And the departments don't work independently of the manager, right? Everything that is under his oversight. We have an accredited police department. We are one of, excuse me, we are one of a tiny percentage of cities that have an accredited building department. We have the autism training across, for the ocean rescue and for the police department. Hirings across the departments. Cleaning level, level by level, department by department. And good working relationships, even outside of here, so I mean, I'm personally very satisfied. There's still work to be done, but I think that in the past couple of years, we've made great progress. Obviously, you disagree, and you have the right to voice that. But if you wanted to do the courtesy, you can just walk to his office and let him know. You don't need to make a display of it. That's all I have to say.
Okay, Commissioner Lama.
Yeah, so just wanted to point a couple things out. So with Stan and the current management setup, the police department was accredited. Our building department has been accredited. Communication has improved drastically. Okay, there's been transparency, in my opinion, more transparency than before, a lot more. And then when it comes to some of your grievances, I'm not trying to discount them, but I'm just trying to understand because it's been ambiguous right now. If you could just bring up some specific examples and situations, I would appreciate that because I like to be informed.
No problem.
Because you just said you're not happy, period.
It's not that I'm not happy. This is not personal.
No, but you're disappointed. That's what you said.
Not
yeah.
disappointed.
Okay, can you give us some specifics?
This is all budgetary. It's issues regarding the city that could have been moved forward, problems that could have been solved years ago, now, several years ago, where things increase, where we could have had Center Island flooding issues solved years ago, but they were not addressed by the city manager with no reason whatsoever. For a year, I fought him on the injection wells, and still he knew it wouldn't work. And the city engineer, the previous city engineer, I don't know what his reason was for leaving, but he absolutely knew that I was totally against the injection wells, that they wouldn't work. And when he left, he even wrote something that I was crazy, that absolutely he was all for it. And Stan, knowing that they wouldn't work, brought that issue to the commission for $9 million. And no one on this commission, I don't know, because a lot of the issues that come to us were jammed with no time to review anything or to do any research, except I had been researching this for over a year, and I was the only no vote, but everyone else voted for $9 million for a project that the next month was scrapped. That's just one issue.
Mauricio, we have another 20.
We still have time.
Is that a time?
No, we still have time.
We still have time. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Would you like to ask me about anything else?
No, that's it. I just want some specifics. I think, the injection wells was put aside. Now we're looking at pumps.
Yeah, but you
like
voted.
You had mentioned.
You voted for $9 million.
Yeah, but I mean, we have a new engineer, so we have a new city engineer.
Why did you vote for $9 million?
Well, we were basing our, you voted for things that have gone wrong
because the city manager gives, and then he gives an indication that he's for it, and there are
No, that's
some
not the point.
commissioners
I voted
that
based on the
vote
information I
yes,
had at the point,
basically
yeah.
on the city manager's recommendation most of the time,
Okay. Well, I was just asking you for specifics,
rather
so
than
yeah.
thinking for yourself.
I do think for myself.
Or
Jeremy.
doing your own
Okay.
research.
Yeah, I do
But
my own
in
research.
in a lot
yeah.
of events, like I said, to be fair, we don't have the time, we're not given the time to do the necessary research on high budget items.
Well, now we're looking, well, regardless. So I just wanted some specifics, but I think we all take pride in what we do and we're responsible. We do our own research. That we disagree in certain decisions, that's another point. But I don't think it's appropriate for you to say and assume that we don't do our research, because sometimes you
Well,
sit
no,
here
because there's no
and I'm
time.
just shaking my head like this guy's coming from left field. Where's he coming
okay.
from? So
when
I'm just
when
to
I
that
spoke
point.
Commissioner
about
Joseph,
the-
just one at a
Yes,
time, please.
mhm.
When
Commissioner
I
Lama
spoke
has,
up about the
Commissioner
injection
Lama has
wells,
the
I was
floor.
coming from left field.
Commissioner Joseph.
Well, sometimes I shake my head as well.
Okay,
so
that's
we all
fine.
have that right. And sometimes I question your decisions like I question everybody else's. So
Okay.
it's fair
I'm
point.
not right all the time.
So you are right? You said?
I'm not right all
okay.
the time.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
No one is.
No one is, exactly. So that's my point. So I just wanted to get some specifics. That's it.
That's
yeah.
fine. I have many others. I wasn't
Yeah.
interested in going into it tonight. This, like I said, this was basically a courtesy. I don't know. It could be that I have 3 votes tonight. Who knows? Today, I don't know. I can't speak to anyone regarding that, but it could be. Why are you asking now for a consensus?
No, I'm not. I'm just having
Okay.
a conversation with you.
It could be there are 3 votes on the commission tonight.
So Commissioner
to,
Joseph,
to remove the city manager.
okay.
I don't know.
Commissioner Joseph, to Commissioner Lama's point, did you go, or actually to Vice Mayor's point, did you speak to the manager about the items that you are concerned about and how you're unhappy with his work?
I didn't.
Okay.
We didn't have a discussion, but he knows there have been issues in the past that I've been absolutely against.
Well, for clarification, I think this is what Commissioner Lama was saying, that we don't always agree. So sometimes I get voted out, sometimes you get voted out as far as what we are sponsoring. So it's not necessarily the manager, it's the commission that you may not agree with.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure we separate those
okay.
things. Because have
So,
we
okay,
ever
let me go-
given instruction to the manager that he went against? Like,
It's not for me, it's the mayor actually is the one that speaks to the city manager regarding any change that you want to make. It's
No,
not
everyone
for a
can speak to the
commissioner.
city manager about his work. Any commissioner can speak to the manager.
But it's not for me to remove a city manager.
Let's-
It's the mayor's position.
It's a consensus. But, okay. Is there any more comments? No. Okay. Next item, please.
Okay. So we've had this. Yeah.
Sorry, Commissioner, let me just read it into the record. The next item is 4H regarding a discussion by Commissioner Lama on lobbying the state regarding subsidence.
Okay. So we had this conversation before during one of our meetings, correct? And I was asking if the city itself can impose any sort of monitoring of the subsidence based on, recent events, unfortunate recent events. And that is not up to us. We don't have let's say, the jurisdiction to do something like that. It would need to be state regulated. So my question is, and what I would like to see is if we could lobby, and perhaps before lobbying, start the conversation with, the entities in the know about implementing some sort of program or the state adopting some sort of legislation where certain buildings that are on the coastal towns and certain buildings that are in barrier islands will need to monitor subsidence and settlement on a not continuous basis, but maybe in periodic basis. Just like right now, we have legislation where we have to do the 40 and the 50-year recertification for buildings that are older than whatever, a certain age. So I think that it is an important, it's going to be a very complex subject, and I don't know how we could start doing this. We could talk to our lobbyists. We could talk to perhaps some of the experts in geology. I did speak to the head of geology at the DEP, and he told me that right now they do have a database. There's some monitoring in place, but it only has to do with sinkholes and settlement due to natural causes, you know, and this database is only comprised of people calling in and reporting any issues. So right now there's no active monitoring of subsidence. There's no active monitoring to see what construction or the development of certain buildings of cities is causing on coastal towns, barrier islands, etc. So I would like to see the city. Obviously, I won't be here in November. I'm going to continue doing this lobbying and trying to learn more about the issue so I could myself talk to some of my contacts. But I think it will be good if we, as a city, could talk to some of the coastal towns that share the same geography as us and start looking into some sort of legislation to this effect. And it might not be necessary for all of it, but for certain buildings, I'm not an expert in geology and what construction does to the soil, but I think it's something that needs to be looked into and implemented.
I have a question. Was this discussed prior to today with the manager and the attorney?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so what is the current code? Because it's based on Florida building code. So we can't just override that.
No, our jurisdiction is essentially to enforce the building code. Those types of things would have to be done through the state, you know, similar
have to
to
be-
what happened after
yeah.
Hurricane Andrew. You know, there were significant
Right.
changes to the code based on that tragic event. So we're very limited in what we do. And beyond jurisdiction, we don't necessarily have the expertise either to evaluate any data or anything like that. So it's really, I think when we spoke, it's identifying the pathways of where we can really try to communicate. Maybe our lobbyists would be the first volley of people that we speak with to say, okay, what are the pathways? Who do we need to talk to get this conversation going?
And just because we kind of don't have that many left parcels, would this be something that would be retroactive?
It depends how the state, you know, I think there's only two counties, we spoke about this also, I think there's only 2 or 3 counties in Florida that at least previously had 40-year certification requirements.
It was Miami-Dade and Broward.
Right. So those things are progressing, I think, as people realize the need for them. So it could, depending on how the state wants to do it, it could be retroactive. Just like the floodplains now, the flood levels, you're kind of grandfathered in, but the minute you do any sort of remediation after a certain percentage, you have to basically reach that floodplain level. So it would depend how the state would want to do it.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have any comments? Commissioner Joseph, you want to say something?
I think from what I've read and what the newspapers are writing, I don't know if it's absolutely true. Sometimes the newspapers put out
Depends on
things
which
that
one.
are, yeah. So we have in the city a couple of buildings that are subsiding.
Don't know
Someone
this to
had
be
mentioned,
true.
yeah, we don't know if it's true, but they had mentioned a couple of names. Not going to mention them now, but they do require watching, like Alex said. And for the new structures, I just hope that they're built on solid ground and we don't have those issues.
Okay.
And that's all we can hope for.
Anyone else? No? Commissioner Susan? No? Okay. Are you satisfied, Commissioner Lama?
Yes.
Okay, next item,
And I will continue speaking to our
please.
staff.
And nothing stops in November, you can continue
Yeah.
working on this.
No, my only comment is like we can put it in the priorities that we're gonna be sending.
That would be one of the parts. And you know, to be honest with you, I don't know how we would go about this. I mean, we'll have to talk to engineers, we'll have to talk to geologists. Would it be just certain areas? Would it be, so it's very complex. And just like what happened after Hurricane Andrew, the building codes changed. I think that eventually this is something maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, something that could be part of the state codes.
Well, just to say one more thing, we haven't had recently a Cat 5 that has come on from the ocean. So we don't know what the effect would be on these buildings we have now.
That too, yeah.
Okay, next item.
Next item is 4I, discussion by Commissioner Lama regarding the award of capital improvement projects.
Yeah, so basically, this is simple. Like, I like to understand our process because I know that we put out there invitation to bids, request for proposal, and request for qualification. So in an effort, I think, to make sure that we do award contracts to the best contractor, so we are not saddled with either change orders or having to replace an elevator that was not put in correctly, et cetera, et cetera. I just wanted to make sure and understand our process and direct staff to see where are there perhaps some weak points that we could reinforce. So us as a body, including the commission, we can make better decisions. And I know it's South Florida, and you have contractors that are terrible and mediocre at best, and it happens a lot because I see it with other cities. I see it with the county. You see it everywhere. So I think because of the fact that, unfortunately, we're in South Florida, that we have a lot of contractors out there that are at best mediocre. We need to see how we can reinforce our vetting process.
Mm-hmm.
Did you discuss this with the manager?
I did.
All right, so can we just get a little summary or not? We can have a long discussion because we have time.
Well, I think
on what the process currently is, and I think you're speaking about the elevator at Gateway, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
But it's everything.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
Just,
it's just in
for
general,
clarification, please go ahead.
For any of our capital improvement projects, how we bid that out is all governed by state law and requires very strict compliance. So we have to first select a design firm, and we select a qualified and licensed architect or engineering firm. Then this process follows Florida's Consultants Competitive Negotiation Act, or CCNA. Under CCNA, these firms are evaluated and based on their qualifications. So I'm getting to the point of what I just wanted to provide a little background of how we get to the contractor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not just a random selection of the contractor,
I understand that, yeah.
But the process is, and I also want the public to understand it's very involved, us getting to the point of awarding a contract. So once the highest firm is identified, then the city negotiates a fair and reasonable time for those services. Then there's preparation of construction documents. So after that, those plans include project specs, drawings, bid documents, and the goal is to produce 100% complete plans that clearly define the scope of work, because we know that the contractors like to do a lot of change orders based on the bids. Then we issue an invitation to bid, which is established by Florida Statute 287, where the scope of work is clearly defined, and by law, the contract must be awarded to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder.
By law?
By law. And we've learned that, as we all know, the lowest is not necessarily the best. So we try to vet, to your point in our discussions, a little more closely these different issues as they come up. And if we don't follow those required procurement procedures, that can result in bid protest. We've experienced a couple of those.
We've experienced that, yes.
Yes, legal challenges and or also delays to the project. So.
Yeah, so from what I understand, so as part of our discussions, and what I learned is that an invitation to bid requires us to award the contract to the lowest and best, not best, but the bidder that obviously fills in all the parameters, right?
Yeah, so the initial phase of it, when you deal with Chapter 287, you deal with what's called the CCNA, right? So if you're dealing with landscape, with architects, engineers, landscape architecture, surveyors, and mapping. It all has to be done through Chapter 287, which requires you to look solely at qualifications. You can't look at pricing. Only qualifications. So there you pick the best qualified person. You can only start talking about costs and fees and so on and so forth once you've awarded that bid. That deals with the design aspect, the engineering aspect. Then when you get into the actual GC that you're going to be using to actually construct your building, you're then dealing with an ITB, an invitation to bid, where the documents, the construction plans, all of that has been determined and done by your CCNA consultants, which is your architect, your engineers, and so on and so forth. And there you have to take costs into account with the ITB. So first, you don't look at costs at all, getting the whole project kind of designed. And then when you get to construction, you do have to take costs into consideration. Now, they have to be, there's a lot of parameters you go through to look at to determine whether they're not only the low, it's not just the lowest bidder, they also have to be the lowest responsible and responsive, right? So if they're not responsive, they're out. If they're not responsible, they're out. So you have a lot of criteria you look at, whether it be financials, you're going to look at references from other public construction jobs that they've done. We reach out to those agencies to say, okay, GC, whatever, did this work for you? Were you happy with them? So there's a lot of steps that we take when reviewing those ITBs to determine, and then they go through the whole selection process and everything else in the committee. And unfortunately, and you look at the buildings just in the city, the Muse, Aurora, what's the other one that just, Park Towers, they're all in post-construction litigation.
Yeah, and that's one of my points. You know, so it's South Florida again. So basically, when we have the ITB, we get a pool of qualified contractors or vendors, correct? Right. And then from that pool, after we're well into the process, is when we start talking about pricing.
That's on the first phase. That's when you're dealing with your consultants, your architects, your engineers, you know, those professional design folks. You only talk costs and fees and unit pricing and all that stuff after you've actually made a decision on the qualifications. When you get to your GC, it's a little different because then you take costs into, you have to also consider the value that they're offering you, the bids. You know, if somebody's $5 million over everyone else, you're not going to necessarily pick them. So you balance out the most qualified that's also responsible, responsive, and the lowest bidder.
And what is the difference between ITB and request for a proposal?
Well, there's request for proposals, request for qualifications. For your GC, you can't really use a request for proposal. You have to use an invitation to bid by state statute under 287. The procurement expert would be best at answering that, the nuances between the RFP. I believe with RFPs, you're typically looking at cost versus qualifications more. You can make a decision based only on cost, but I would need a procurement person to really dive into that.
How much control do we have over this process?
We have a lot of control. I mean, to the extent that we don't have a crystal ball. You know, you can hire a contractor on paper that looks wonderful. You have great references. They've done good projects. And with your projects, for some reason, it doesn't go well. And fortunately, it happens more often than not, to your point, in South Florida. In speaking to some GCs and developers, it's tough to get skilled labor down in South Florida. So it's tough.
Have you discussed, are you proposing any sort of process changes?
No, I just want to
discuss it.
I want to do the research first, understand the process, and then see if perhaps we could make this process a little bit stronger if it needs to. I don't know. At this point, I'm just in an exploratory phase and trying to understand the process.
There's always room for improvement, obviously.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to see if staff and perhaps we could understand the process a little bit better, identify perhaps some areas where we could make it stronger, and as much as possible try to avoid, hiring a contractor that sucks, basically.
Well said. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor, I just want to say in my discussions with the commissioner, what came out of that, we had meetings with the building official, the city attorney, and we're going to have a workshop for the public coming up where we're going to have the Department of Business and Professional Regulation along with our building official to answer a lot of these questions that the residents have brought to the commissioner.
Yeah, this is more like a residential, if they're remodeling their, or building a house or something, but, you know,
Okay.
we're doing something like a town hall.
Commissioner Stevenson?
But to your point, and for our like procurement process in general, how we decide who's the more qualified, responsible, and responsible, there is a committee, if correct me if I'm wrong, that the city manager decide which part of the staff he appoint people to that committee, and that committee decide and give a tabulation, and to which is the one that they're gonna be recommending. Okay, so in order to actually be transparent, because I do believe that we have a lack of transparency heavily, that tabulation should be at every time that there is a recommendation, we should know how many people bid, what was the tabulation, what were the prices. Because right now, we could just get the recommendation, and to your point, I had actually listened completely to certain deliberations of these committees, like for example, for the Christmas lights one, and what we were told is not the same that what was said during those committee discussions. So that's why I cannot take things to face value anymore. And I'm sorry if I maybe come a little bit sometimes. It seems like aggressive with my questions, but usually before I ask a question, it's for a reason. So like I said, the committee gets appointed by the city manager. We don't know who's in that committee unless we ask for. Mm-hmm. We get the recommendation without prices, tabulation, even not knowing who was or not the ones in there. And to your point, yeah, many times we don't get the lowest one because guess what? The committee decides not the more qualified. Mm-hmm. And then it happened that a few years later, the lowest one, that one that we got, then it doubles, triple, or triple, or in cases a lot more, what was originally given to them. So there is room for improvement is an understatement. It's a lot of things that we should be changing, that are not happening. And clearly, the process, it might be so complicated at this point still, many of us, we don't get it. I have read a lot about it, and I feel comfortable with the knowledge that I have, and that's why I ask the question usually that I ask.
Well, you know what? This is something that I think it's not, you know, it happens to a lot of cities, to the county. I was just reading something about the county, and you know the problems with the airport and everything. So I think it's something that perhaps even at a municipal level is something that we could discuss with other municipalities and even the county. I don't know. I'm just, you know, bringing up some ideas, but
we do to a large extent because
Yeah.
a lot of what we do, government procurement, public procurement is there's best practices, and every government has to
Yeah.
go through it by law,
Okay.
right? So we didn't make up these committees. We didn't make up piggybacks. These are
Correct,
all
yeah.
things that all governments do. So you pretty much are following what other agencies do. If you have a larger agency like Broward County, you may have more in-house expertise that can sit on your committee potentially, things of that sort.
okay.
But the way it's set up, so for example, you certainly can be given more information, not a problem. You just can't be involved in the decision process until you are set to make a decision on the actual awarding of the bid. You can't be
Yeah.
involved in the process before that. So there's certain parameters you have to stick with, but certainly more information you can have.
Is there like a blacklist from all the
No,
counties?
there is. I asked,
Yeah,
actually,
no.
I asked for that as well.
Fortunately.
But
Yeah.
has there ever been a time, Commissioner Stevens, I just want to ask that that information was requested and you didn't get it?
I would have to search that.
Okay,
Not on top of my head.
okay. Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
go ahead.
So if we're looking to build a civic center, there are cities that have built civic centers. We should check around, or the committee or whoever it is that's looking to get bids from contractors should look around and see what good experiences cities have had and try to approach those contractors for a bid. I'm not saying that every time they
Well, you
build
have to
something.
put it out to bid, Jerry, remember?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
But you can ask them to be a part of the bidding process.
I don't know
You
if
can't
that's
go
correct,
hand-pick.
yeah.
You can't.
1%
Can't ask
can.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
have-
got to put it out to bid.
Just
and
put
then
it out.
people bid. You can't
Put
start
it out
calling
and
people.
see if they
yeah.
bid.
So
yeah.
okay.
You
So
can
if-
let folks know that you've
So
advertised
if you
for a
have
bid.
6 buildings that have been built that went through without much of an issue, that got built, and other cities throughout the state are happy with them. I know it's difficult if you have a contractor from Orlando, they have their equipment there, they're not going to come here to do a construction, it's cost prohibitive. But if we have in the vicinity that it makes sense, and other cities that have built a similar structure, why shouldn't we be able to get the names of those contractors and include them somehow into our bidding process?
Oh, you can't. You can't. It's an organic process. That's kind of like bid rigging. You can't. You have to put it out to bid. You can advertise it till everywhere you want, and then you have to let if they bid, great. If they don't bid, but you can't go pick them out and say we want to use you.
You can't send them out.
Right. I mean, you have to send it out to everybody, and you hope that they're included in that, and you can make
Okay,
sure that they're
well-
included in that. But you can't.
So is that how we do it? We send out mailers?
No.
How do we do
not
it?
there's a
mailer. It's through
website.
demand.
How do we do it?
Demand Star. There's variety of clearinghouses that have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of companies that monitor. There's BidSync. There's Demand Star. There's all these services that do that. Where governments for bidding, you basically put it out there, and unfortunately that's government procurement. And
I
it's
just want-
set by statute.
Give the city manager the floor.
Mayor, can I ask the procurement director to come up and just give us an overview very quickly?
Sure, we
of
have
that
6
process?
minutes on this item. Please, if you can. No, Mauricio has 3, but I have 6. 13. No, I have 6. I put it on. All right. However long you need. Okay.
I'll be fast. Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager's Office. So just to address certain, my computer shut down. Just to address certain points that were just discussed. So our evaluation committee meetings are public sunshine, open to the public. These meetings, the dates are posted on our bulletin board in the front. They're posted on our city's website and on Facebook. So thank you to the media department for always posting on when our public sunshine meetings are, and they're recorded. The contractors are open to sending an email to the city clerk and requesting these recorded meetings. And we also take minutes, they're recorded. All the documents are open, again, to public records inspection. The contractors, bidders, firms that are submitting proposals to responses, they have a vested interest to make sure that the process is fair, because they have the opportunity to submit a bid protest if they feel that the process is unethical. What other of the items were discussed?
The question of asking someone to bid.
Correct. So we can invite contractors to participate on demandstar.com. So if there are contractors that, let's say another agency has had a very successful project on, I can request other procurement departments.
Within that system.
Yes, I
So
could
you
request.
can't call
do
your
that.
friend Joe and say, hey, go bid on this. Or you can.
So pretty much, again, if I hear word from another agency that they've had a very successful project, they could send me that contractor's name, and I could send them an email saying, please register on DemandStar.
Okay.
We are going to post bids frequently on solicitations on DemandStar, so please participate in our project, in our solicitation process.
Through that system, though.
Correct,
Okay,
through
so-
DemandStar.
So that it's fair, so that everyone has the same, starts the same point. Okay.
Correct. And we do host How to Do Business with the City
seen
a
those,
few
yeah.
times a year, where we give them the instructions on how to register with DemandStar, because we definitely want more competition for sure.
And the better people as well.
Okay, thank you, Chances. I think you and
I
your
think I
department,
addressed-
you do an amazing job.
Yeah.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
Okay. We're good, Commissioner
I'm
Lama?
good, thanks.
All right,
Okay.
one more item is yours.
Yes. Before we speak about this item, I have one question
From who? Who are you asking?
with the city manager.
Okay.
So there's another property on the street of Richelieu, correct?
Wait, we're gonna go to that right now.
No, I understand, but
Let
maybe
him-
it's
Can you
Let
not.
him
just wait
announce
till we
the
talk
item.
about, you're going to the next item,
Okay.
okay? So,
Okay. The next item is 4J, discussion by Commissioner Lama regarding the budget and development of Little Richelieu property.
Right, okay.
starting the timer.
Go ahead, Jerry.
So I believe this might not be the time to discuss this, because are there any discussions regarding the completion of the city purchasing that block or no?
Mr. City Manager?
We haven't had any direct negotiations, but I've brought you all numerous properties and you've declined to move forward. So as part of our budget cuts going forward, we're also removing that from the budget.
Okay, so you had previously brought to us the fact that the city was negotiating. There's one other small condominium on the block where Richelieu was, correct? To finish up, to complete that street? Is that correct?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
I think he's referring to the building that's next to the empty lot.
The apartment building.
Yes. There's one other property that the city would like to obtain, correct?
There are a couple of properties that
No,
we
no, I'm
would like
talking
to
about one in
obtain.
particular. I don't know the name of the property.
All
But,
right,
but we've been negotiating or no?
I don't think we're in any negotiations.
There's no negotiations at this time.
Okay, but I heard out of your mouth previously that you were looking to purchase that property. Is that correct or not?
Which property are you referring to?
If I knew the name of the property, I would say, does anyone know the name of the property?
I will look it up. But in the meantime, this is
May I?
Commissioner
Yeah.
Lama's item.
Okay.
Go ahead,
All right.
So-
Thank you.
let him go.
So
Wait.
no, basically this has to do with the community center.
Yes.
We discussed this already, and
Sorry, 1 minute, please. Because, yes, but I understand.
Jerry, let me
But
finish.
if we're going to be negotiating,
Jerry,
this
thi-
puts the city in a different position if we're talking about building on a property next to something that we might be looking to purchase.
okay. So my point is, I'm not that far ahead right now.
Well,
My point is that if we're
No,
going
we
to
never
build a
think ahead.
community center, there's been talk about doing repairs to Pelican right now, taking off the debt service or the bond in the budget, et cetera. I'm fine with that. But what I'm trying to say is that we all need to backtrack and we need to take a closer look at the different community centers that are in our neighboring cities. You have Doral at $150 million, then you have NMB at a 39. So there's like a disparity between prices. And I think that first we should have, dive deeper, look at some pricing, and just perhaps have a workshop and discuss this in more depth. That's it. Because I think we absolutely need a community center here.
I just want to add, Commissioner Lama, and then you'll have, unless, look, someone else speak for a minute, but while I'm not opposed to a workshop, we have had extensive conversations about this. We hired us consultants, we went through the whole process. So are you suggesting that we start over?
No, not necessarily, but I think that we should, or perhaps we each have conversation with staff and, take a look at some of the pricing and our neighboring municipalities and see what they've spent and what are the components in some of these community centers. So we could probably benchmark it differently or better, and obviously I don't think, let's say we don't want a $200 million community center, then we look at, what other options are there. Like I had mentioned previously, I always like to look at different options, price points. So that's my point, basically.
Okay. Vice Mayor, did you want to say something?
I agree that we've had extensive conversations, and my concern, Alex, is that everybody's gonna like the $200 million project, but they're gonna wanna pay 50. And then
And that's a problem we
right,
have,
and
yeah.
right, and that's the underlying issue with this particular group of commissioners is that we have a hard time getting consensus on some of this big stuff. So I mean, fine, we can get more prices, but I think it's.
No, but aside from that, I mean, like for instance, I'll go to NMB and look at the community center they're doing. Perhaps that's I think at 36 million. Perhaps that's what that will suffice. That'll be more than great for our city. I mean, those are the questions
it's better
I'm
than,
having right now in my.
It's better
I'm
than
having
empty
myself.
land, right?
Of course, we need
So
a community center.
I
So we
agree.
got to see if we make at what price point we want to decide to make it.
Well,
And
you
we-
can't
and
decide the
staff-
price and then back into what you want, because we already know what we want. And if we're just saying that we want to spend,
And it's not 36 million.
it's not 36 million, but.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you an example.
No,
that, yeah.
I understand what you, I want
Yeah.
a nice center too for 10 million.
Like in my mind, I'm gonna go to NMB. I'm gonna go to Doral, take a look at them, like live, and
Okay.
take it from there.
Deputy Manager, did you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say I spoke to Commissioner before this meeting, and he did mention the NMB one. And what I found out very briefly, Washington Park in North Miami Beach is a $12 million project for a 12,900 square foot multifunctional campus with a 250-person capacity banquet hall. So that would be comparable to Gateway.
Oh, I was going to ask that because I don't know what that means when you say that.
no,
But
so-
like a
so-
gateway facility.
yeah.
How many
so-
levels is that building?
I believe there's this one.
Just one level?
I don't have a site plan. But one of the challenges that we have that we need to keep in mind when the time comes is parking. We would have to build a parking
We
garage.
have to build a parking.
Yeah, we
which is
need a
very
parking
expensive.
garage.
By the way, I think that price ballooned to like 30 or 30 something million dollars right now. So yeah,
Yeah, when was that
This,
built?
this is from their
it's
website.
still being built,
It's,
I believe.
Oh, it's still
it's
being
not
built.
opening till 2028. I
Yeah,
think, 2027.
Okay.
And it's become also a mess from what
You
I've
mean-
been able to research. The pricing has ballooned and it's become political too.
Right, right. But
I
how,
love politics.
but how much do you know? I mean, since we have some time, how was that decided? Did they just ask for input from the community? Did they just pick? Did
I will have to. That's why I want to do
You don't
some
know. Okay.
research and
No, okay.
perhaps I would like to go to a community center and say, okay, you know what? Maybe the Doral one is the one we want because this has got all the components, and yeah, it'll be 150 million. Or I go to Key Biscayne and say, you know what? For 70 million, Key Biscayne one, it's comparable to I think what we could have here. So.
We're always putting the cart before the horse. Like
Okay.
Susan just said,
I-
we need a parking garage.
No, we do need a parking garage, Jerry. Yeah.
Right.
But I think also, to be fair, we need to give
you don't build
clear
a $70
direction
million
to.
building and then build the parking garage afterwards.
No, but we need to give clear direction to. I mean, we've given direction to the staff, but then we change, and I think that we need to, perhaps all of us have a conversation that's productive.
And a parking garage is a moneymaker besides.
Okay. So look, can we just get some next steps on this? What is it that you want?
Next steps is like look at the different community centers out there and perhaps do like another review, and we could individually sit down with staff, or we could have a workshop, or
But you said you're
this
willing-
could be an email.
You're willing to drive around and do it.
Yeah,
Okay. Let's
yeah,
bring us pictures.
I will. I'll bring you videos.
No, that's actually a very good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else had anything to add to this? Okay, we did okay. We didn't even hit 4:30. All right. Before you turn off the tape, 6:30. Everyone will see you back at 6:30. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Family homes, inspect and test your shutters, check your roof, trim trees away from structures, and clear debris from your yard and storm drains. Sign up for City of Sunny Isles Beach specific emergency notifications at sibfl.gov/SIB alert to get updates before, during, and after the storm. Stay safe, Sunny Isles Beach.
This July, we're celebrating Park and Recreation Month and the power of parks. During a heat advisory, our parks can help you stay cool while enjoying the outdoors. Visit the splash pads at Heritage Park and Gateway Park, where kids can play while staying refreshed. If you're visiting Town Center Park, you'll notice the shade structure is back. Thank you for your patience while this custom shade was rebuilt. It's now ready to help provide a more comfortable place to play. You'll also find cooling features throughout our parks to help you beat the heat, including misting stations at Pelican Community Park, Margolis Park, and Town Center Park. Remember to drink plenty of water, wear light-colored clothing, take breaks in the shade, and avoid strenuous activity during the hottest part of the day. Our parks are here for you all year round, and during the extreme heat, they can help you stay active while staying safe. For more heat safety tips, visit miamidade.gov/heat. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stay safe, Sunny Isles Beach.
is Juliette Munoz. I am an interpretive program attendant and / sea turtle biologist for the Miami-Dade Sea Turtle Conservation Program. And I just came and picked up a disoriented sea turtle hatchling. A call came from us from Sunny Isles Ocean Rescue. They contacted us saying that a beachgoer gave them a sea turtle hatchling that they had found disoriented on the beach. Now it is going to go back to our office to rehabilitate for a little bit before it becomes released at night or tomorrow morning back into the ocean.
Hello, Sunny Isles Beach. I'm here at the North Bay Road pedestrian bridge where you may notice some new improvements. The bridge has been repaired and enhanced with new ADA compliant surface and updated safety bollards. A new green stripe lane on the bridge ramps is reserved for scooter riders and bicyclists. When entering the bridge, please keep to the east side, remaining safely separated from pedestrians. This ensures a safer experience for everyone. As we enjoy these enhancements together, we kindly ask for your help in keeping the bridge clean and safe. Please dispose of gum and trash properly and be mindful when walking pets so we can continue to take pride in this beautiful public space. These upgrades are part of our ongoing commitment to keep pedestrians safe and make our city accessible to all.
The City of Sunny Isles Beach will observe the following park hours. Heritage Park, located at 19200 Collins Avenue, is open daily except for Fridays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Fridays hours are 12 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Golden Shores Park, located at 201 191st Terrace, is open daily except for Tuesdays from 8:30 a.m. to sunset. Tuesday hours are from 12 o'clock p.m. to sunset. Pelican Community Park, located at 18115 North Bay Road. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. and Sunday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. with front desk services offered in the gymnasium. Senator Gwen Margolis Park, located at 17815 North Bay Road. Our soccer field hours of operation are daily from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m., except when in use for city programs. Our Senator Gwen Margolis Park Playground is open daily except for Wednesdays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Wednesday's playground hours are from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8:30 p.m. The Bone Zone Dog Park at Senator Gwen Margolis Park is open daily except for Wednesdays from 7:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Wednesday's hours are from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Sampson Oceanfront Park, located at 17425 Collins Avenue, is open daily from sunrise to sunset. The restrooms at Sampson Oceanfront Park are open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Town Center Park, located at 17200 Collins Avenue, is open daily except for Wednesdays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Town Center Park hours on Wednesdays are from 12 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Gateway Park, located at 151 Sunny Isles Boulevard, is open daily except for Wednesdays and Thursdays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Gateway Park hours of operations on Wednesdays are from 8 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m., with gates reopening at 5:30 p.m. for Gateway Market. Gateway Park hours of operations on Thursdays will be from 12 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Gateway Center, located at 151 Sunny Isles Boulevard, is open Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Your Sunny Isles Beach resident ID card is your all-access pass to Gateway Center. Show your valid card at the reception desk for entry. Pier Park and the Newport Fishing Pier, located at 16501 Collins Avenue, is open daily except for Tuesdays and Fridays from 7 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Pier Park and the Newport Fishing Pier hours on Tuesdays and Fridays is from 10:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Intracoastal Parks, located at 16100 Collins Avenue, are open daily from sunrise to sunset. The Intracoastal Parks Playground is open daily, except for Thursdays, from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. And the Intracoastal Parks Playground hours on Thursdays are from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Visit sibfl.net/parks for all park rules, guidelines, amenities, and hours.
Sunny Isles Beach Ocean Rescue would like to remind you wheelchairs are available to our beach patrons. Wheelchairs for beach patrons are free, easy to push, even on the soft sand of our beaches, and available 7 days a week during the Sunny Isles Beach Ocean Rescue operating hours. Beach patrons can request a wheelchair from any lifeguard tower. Please have your driver's license or your Sunny Isles Beach resident ID card available.
Hi everyone, this is Officer Stephanie Montermoso with Sunny Isles Beach Police Department, and I'm your new school resource officer. I can't wait to see all you here this new school year. I've always wanted to be a police officer because I want to help my community, and who doesn't love this job? I like working with kids because they keep every day interesting. On my days off, I like to be a mom. I have 2 kids. I like to explore places with them, and I love the beach. This is why I work for Sunny Isles Beach. I'm the officer with all the ducks in the car, and they're all my lucky ducks. Plus, who doesn't like rubber duckies? They're so much fun. If you see me around, just leave a duck in my door. And then if I see you, I'll give you a duck as well. Starting this new school year, I want you to be safe, be responsible. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask, and always have safety in mind. I encourage all you kids to be kind. Don't be afraid to ask. Please come and say hi to me. We're here to help, and I'm excited to meet all of you this new year. And if you see me, either give me a duck, give me a high five, or give me a hug. Everything is welcome.
everyone. Sergeant Hernandez here with the Sunny Isles Beach Police Department. I want to share some important updates about motorized scooter regulations in our city. The City Commission recently approved a new ordinance to help keep our roads and sidewalks safer for everyone. Here's what's changing. First, riders must now be 16 years or older to use a motorized scooter in Sunny Isles Beach. Second, anyone riding a scooter will be required to carry a government-issued ID. And finally, violations come with fines, $250 for the first offense and $500 for any after that. We'll be focusing on education for the next couple of months, but starting June 1st, our officers, along with our code enforcement officers, will begin issuing citations. Let's work together to keep our roads and sidewalks safe for everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Officer Martinez with the Sunny Isles Beach Police Department. The City Commission has passed an ordinance regulating the use of e-bikes in our city. Here's what you need to know. Riders must be 16 years or older to use an e-bike in Sunny Isles Beach. They will also need to carry a government-issued ID. E-bikes will not be allowed on the sidewalks. And those who violate these rules will face a $250 fine for the first offense and a $500 fine for every offense after that. Police and code officers will begin issuing citations on August 16th, following an educational campaign. Ride responsibly, follow the rules, and help keep Sunny Isles Beach safe for everyone.
The Drone is the first responder program here in the city of Sunny Isles Beach. It is the first contracted non-beta autonomous drone dock setup in the state of Florida. This new Skydio X10 dock in conjunction with Axon Air has provided us an opportunity and the citizens of Sunny Isles Beach a tremendous benefit. This is a game-changing piece of technology and enters us into a new era of public safety and protecting our citizens. We are able to respond to calls for service, emergencies, traffic crashes, missing people, drowning victims much quicker than we ever could have. Being an extra set of eyes, they can be there in literally seconds. 20 seconds of launching the drone, it is up in the air and on its way, and will provide that extra layer of security and make our response time so much quicker. When the dispatcher receives a call, the drone pilot officer is already in the real-time crime center with the dispatchers. From the time they hear the call, they're already inputting the address into the system. They then initiate the launch sequence. That goes within approximately a 20-second process, which sends the signal to the dock, which is on the roof. The actually slides back open. The drone does a quick self-test. It launches itself in the air, orients itself, and then starts to fly to the call that we've dispatched it to. With its technology, it's able to navigate around obstacles, get there the most expeditious route that it can, and bring itself back when it's ready. I believe the drone will benefit the entire city, whether it's our residents, our visitors, our police officers. This is a tremendous technological advancement and piece of equipment, and truly exemplifies the motto of the city of Sunny Isles Beach, which is the height of living.
Hello, Sunny Isles Beach. I'm here at the Gateway Park Pedestrian Bridge, where important upgrades have been completed on both elevators, thanks to the support of our City Commission.
The elevators now feature new glass doors for a cleaner look and added safety. Inside, new security cameras are monitored around the clock through our Keys 3 system called Mosaic 1. This advanced technology can alert personnel if someone falls or needs help, and riders can also press the call button inside the elevator to reach assistance immediately.
Getting around the city just got safer and easier.
Adventure begins at Sunny Isles Beach, a city like no other. Spanning just 1.78 square miles, this charming city boasts not one or two, but 11 public parks. With nearly 22,000 residents, our parks are within walking distance for everyone. Whether you're into baseball, soccer, joining your friends at yoga, spending time on the playgrounds, or just soaking up the sun, there's something for everyone. Sunny Isles Beach caters to every age with a variety of events and programs. Did we mention that one of our parks comes with a breathtaking ocean view? Here, you can bask in the beauty of the coast, connecting with nature in a way that's truly special. Sunny Isles Beach, where adventure, community, and natural beauty come together to create a unique city that we're proud to call home.
Hello, Sunny Isles Beach. Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to prepare. Sunny Isles Beach is in Evacuation Zone B. If a Category 2 hurricane or stronger threatens our area, you may be ordered to evacuate due to risk of storm surge. As part of your hurricane preparedness kit, have a 3 to 7 day supply of water, non-perishable food, medications, flashlight, batteries, and a first aid kit. If anyone in your household may need medical assistance or evacuation transportation, register now at miamidade.gov/hurricane. If you live in a condo or apartment, secure all your items on your balcony so they do not become dangerous projectiles in a storm, and store important documents and valuables in a safe place. For single-family homes, inspect and test your shutters, check your roof, trim trees away from structures, and clear debris from your yard and storm drains. Sign up for City of Sunny Isles Beach specific emergency notifications at sibfl.gov/SIB alert to get updates before, during, and after the storm. Stay safe, Sunny Isles Beach.
This July, we're celebrating Park and Recreation Month and the power of parks. During a heat advisory, our parks can help you stay cool while enjoying the outdoors. Visit the splash pads at Heritage Park and Gateway Park, where kids can play while staying refreshed. If you're visiting Town Center Park, you'll notice the shade structure is back. Thank you for your patience while this custom shade was rebuilt. It's now ready to help provide a more comfortable place to play. You'll also find cooling features throughout our parks to help you beat the heat, including misting stations at Pelican Community Park, Margolis Park, and Town Center Park. Remember to drink plenty of water, wear light-colored clothing, take breaks in the shade, and avoid strenuous activity during the hottest part of the day. Our parks are here for you all year round, and during the extreme heat, they can help you stay active while staying safe. For more heat safety tips, visit miamidade.gov/heat. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stay safe, Sunny Isles Beach.
Hi, my name is Juliette Munoz. I am an interpretive program attendant and / sea turtle biologist for the Miami-Dade Sea Turtle Conservation Program. And I just came and picked up a disoriented sea turtle hatchling. A call came from us from Sunny Isles Ocean Rescue. They contacted us saying that a beachgoer gave them a sea turtle hatchling that they had found disoriented on the beach. Now it is going to go back to our office to rehabilitate for a little bit before it becomes released at night or tomorrow morning back into the ocean.
Hello, Sunny Isles Beach. I'm here at the North Bay Road pedestrian bridge where you may notice some new improvements. The bridge has been repaired and enhanced with new ADA compliant surface and updated safety bollards. A new green stripe lane on the bridge ramps is reserved for scooter riders and bicyclists. When entering the bridge, please keep to the east side, remaining safely separated from pedestrians. This ensures a safer experience for everyone. As we enjoy these enhancements together, we kindly ask for your help in keeping the bridge clean and safe. Please dispose of gum and trash properly and be mindful when walking pets so we can continue to take pride in this beautiful public space. These upgrades are part of our ongoing commitment to keep pedestrians safe and make our city accessible to all.
The City of Sunny Isles Beach will observe the following park hours. Heritage Park, located at 19200 Collins Avenue, is open daily except for Fridays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Fridays hours are 12 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Golden Shores Park, located at 201 191st Terrace, is open daily except for Tuesdays from 8:30 a.m. to sunset. Tuesday hours are from 12 o'clock p.m. to sunset. Pelican Community Park, located at 18115 North Bay Road. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. and Sunday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. with front desk services offered in the gymnasium. Senator Gwen Margolis Park, located at 17815 North Bay Road. Our soccer field hours of operation are daily from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m., except when in use for city programs. Our Senator Gwen Margolis Park playground is open daily except for Wednesdays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Wednesday's playground hours are from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8:30 p.m. The Bone Zone Dog Park at Senator Gwen Margolis Park is open daily except for Wednesdays from 7:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Wednesday's hours are from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Sampson Oceanfront Park, located at 17425 Collins Avenue, is open daily from sunrise to sunset. The restrooms at Sampson Oceanfront Park are open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Town Center Park, located at 17200 Collins Avenue, is open daily except for Wednesdays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Town Center Park hours on Wednesdays are from 12 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Gateway Park, located at 151 Sunny Isles Boulevard, is open daily except for Wednesdays and Thursdays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Gateway Park hours of operations on Wednesdays are from 8 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m., with gates reopening at 5:30 p.m. for Gateway Market. Gateway Park hours of operations on Thursdays will be from 12 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Gateway Center, located at 151 Sunny Isles Boulevard, is open Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Your Sunny Isles Beach resident ID card is your all-access pass to Gateway Center. Show your valid card at the reception desk for entry. Pier Park and the Newport Fishing Pier, located at 16501 Collins Avenue, is open daily except for Tuesdays and Fridays from 7 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Pier Park and the Newport Fishing Pier hours on Tuesdays and Fridays is from 10:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Intracoastal Parks, located at 16100 Collins Avenue, are open daily from sunrise to sunset. The Intracoastal Parks Playground is open daily, except for Thursdays, from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. And the Intracoastal Parks Playground hours on Thursdays are from 10 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Visit sibfl.net/parks for all park rules, guidelines, amenities, and hours.
Sunny Isles Beach Ocean Rescue would like to remind you wheelchairs are available to our beach patrons. Wheelchairs for beach patrons are free, easy to push, even on the soft sand of our beaches, and available 7 days a week during the Sunny Isles Beach Ocean Rescue operating hours. Beach patrons can request a wheelchair from any lifeguard tower. Please have your driver's license or your Sunny Isles Beach resident ID card available.
Hi everyone, this is Officer Stephanie Montermoso with Sunny Isles Beach Police Department, and I'm your new school resource officer. I can't wait to see all you here this new school year. I've always wanted to be a police officer because I want to help my community, and who doesn't love this job? I like working with kids because they keep every day interesting. On my days off, I like to be a mom. I have 2 kids. I like to explore places with them, and I love the beach. This is why I work for Sunny Isles Beach. I'm the officer with all the ducks in the car, and they're all my lucky ducks. Plus, who doesn't like rubber duckies? They're so much fun. If you see me around, just leave a duck at my door. And then if I see you, I'll give you a duck as well. Starting this new school year, I want you to be safe, be responsible. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask, and always have safety in mind. I encourage all you kids to be kind. Don't be afraid to ask. Please come and say hi to me. We're here to help, and I'm excited to meet all of you this new year. And if you see me, either give me a duck, give me a high five, or give me a hug. Everything is welcome.
Sergeant Hernandez here with the Sunny Isles Beach Police Department. I want to share some important updates about motorized scooter regulations in our city. The City Commission recently approved a new ordinance to help keep our roads and sidewalks safer for everyone. Here's what's changing. First, riders must now be 16 years or older to use a motorized scooter in Sunny Isles Beach. Second, anyone riding a scooter will be required to carry a government-issued ID. And finally, violations come with fines, $250 for the first offense and $500 for any after that. We'll be focusing on education for the next couple of months, but starting June 1st, our officers, along with our code enforcement officers, will begin issuing citations. Let's work together to keep our roads and sidewalks safe for everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Officer Martinez with the Sunny Isles Beach Police Department. The City Commission has passed an ordinance regulating the use of e-bikes in our city. Here's what you need to know. Riders must be 16 years or older to use an e-bike in Sunny Isles Beach. They will also need to carry a government-issued ID. E-bikes will not be allowed on the sidewalks. And those who violate these rules will face a $250 fine for the first offense and a $500 fine for every offense after that. Police and code officers will begin issuing citations on August 16th, following an educational campaign. Ride responsibly, follow the rules, and help keep Sunny Isles Beach safe for everyone.
The Drone is the First Responder program here in the city of Sunny Isles Beach is the first contracted non-beta autonomous drone dock setup in the state of Florida. This new Skydio X10 dock in conjunction with Axon Air has provided us an opportunity and the citizens of Sunny Isles Beach a tremendous benefit. This is a game-changing piece of technology and enters us into a new era of public safety and protecting our citizens. We are able to respond to calls for service, emergencies, traffic crashes, missing people, drowning victims much quicker than we ever could have. Being an extra set of eyes, they can be there in literally seconds. 20 seconds of launching the drone, it is up in the air and on its way, and will provide that extra layer of security and make our response time so much quicker. When the dispatcher receives a call, the drone pilot officer is already in the real-time crime center with the dispatchers. From the time they hear the call, they're already inputting the address into the system. They then initiate the launch sequence. That goes within approximately a 20-second process, which sends the signal to the dock, which is on the roof. The actually slides back open. The drone does a quick self-test. It launches itself in the air, orients itself, and then starts to fly to the call that we've dispatched it to. With its technology, it's able to navigate around obstacles, get there the most expeditious route that it can, and bring itself back when it's ready. I believe the drone will benefit the entire city, whether it's our residents, our visitors, our police officers. This is a tremendous technological advancement and piece of equipment and truly exemplifies the motto of the city of Sunny Isles Beach, which is the height of living.
Hello, Sunny Isles Beach. I'm here at the Gateway Park Pedestrian Bridge, where important upgrades have been completed on both elevators, thanks to the support of our City Commission.
The elevators now feature new glass doors for cleaner look and added safety. Inside, new security cameras are monitored around the clock through our Keys 3 system called Mosaic 1. This advanced technology can alert personnel if someone falls or needs help, and riders can also press the call button inside the elevator to reach assistance immediately.
Getting around the city just got safer and easier.
Adventure begins at Sunny Isles Beach, a city like no other. Spanning just 1.78 square miles, this charming city boasts not one or two, but 11 public parks. With nearly 22,000 residents, our parks are within walking distance for everyone. Whether you're into baseball, soccer, joining your friends at yoga, spending time on the playgrounds, or just soaking up the sun, there's something for everyone. Sunny Isles Beach caters to every age with a variety of events and programs. Did we mention that one of our parks comes with a breathtaking ocean view? Here, you can bask in the beauty of the coast, connecting with nature in a way that's truly special. Sunny Isles Beach, where adventure, community, and natural beauty come together to create a unique city that we're proud to call home.
Hello, Sunny Isles Beach. Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to prepare. Sunny Isles Beach is in Evacuation Zone B. If a Category 2 hurricane or stronger threatens our area, you may be ordered to evacuate due to risk of storm surge. As part of your hurricane preparedness kit, have a 3 to 7 day supply of water, non-perishable food, medications, flashlight, batteries, and a first aid kit. If anyone in your household may need medical assistance or evacuation transportation, register now at miamidade.gov/hurricane. If you live in a condo or apartment, secure all your items on your balcony so they do not become dangerous projectiles in a storm, and store important documents and valuables in a safe place. For single-family homes, inspect and test your shutters, check your roof, trim trees away from structures, and clear debris from your yard and storm drains. Sign up for City of Sunny Isles Beach specific emergency notifications at sibfl.gov/SIB alert to get updates before, during, and after the storm. Stay safe, Sunny Isles Beach.
This July, we're celebrating Park and Recreation Month and the power of parks. During a heat advisory, our parks can help you stay cool while enjoying the outdoors. Visit the splash pads at Heritage Park and Gateway Park, where kids can play while staying refreshed. If you're visiting Town Center Park, you'll notice the shade structure is back. Thank you for your patience while this custom shade was rebuilt. It's now ready to help provide a more comfortable place to play. You'll also find cooling features throughout our parks to help you beat the heat, including misting stations at Pelican Community Park, Margolis Park, and Town Center Park. Remember to drink plenty of water, wear light-colored clothing, take breaks in the shade, and avoid strenuous activity during the hottest part of the day. Our parks are here for you all year round, and during the extreme heat, they can help you stay active while staying safe. For more heat safety tips, visit miamidade.gov/heat. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stay safe, Sunny Isles Beach.